It's all good.
All right. Oh, guys, this is CrazyP's episode fucking 10.
Woo!
10. 10. 10. 4.
We got the double digits.
Yeah, we got to the double digits, people. There's 10, 8 fingers, 2 thumbs. 10. Episode fucking 10. Anyway, moving on.
Hey.
Yeah, so CrazyP's, I'm Thomas Paxton.
I'm Tim Potter.
And we're going to talk about some stuff this week, and it's going to be great. One thing I have to address from the previous week is there were some minor misconceptions. I was quoting a movie. I was not actually meaning, like, there's characters we were talking about in the movie, and certain words that were said.
Made somebody think.
Yeah, that I am a phobe of some kind. Starts with an F, ends with an S, and then the other one, it's homo, and it's not homo sapien. So I have to address that. Yeah, I have to address that. So sometimes I go a little off the cuff and I make people think certain things about the way I think, and I was a little offended, actually, a little triggered by someone leaving a comment on the YouTube part of our stream stuff. And I went ahead and immediately promptly deleted the video, not because I'm scared, not because I'm afraid of them or anybody else.
No.
More for me, really, because I have to sign off on whatever we're doing. Like, as an artist, as an author, as a YouTuber, as
the editor.
As the editor, yes. Very much as the editor, because I am the one who edits all the video, and I'm the one who brings all of it to the focus. And so, if things...
And I let him, because I don't know how.
Yeah, like, he literally does not...
admit that.
Yeah, he literally does not care, honestly, about any... Like, he wants the raw, uncut version, so he would have preferred if I just left it alone and didn't bother with it. But I'm too much of a perfectionist, and I like to look at this as if a million people are watching, even if there's like 7 or 3 or 1 or 0. It doesn't matter to me. I want to be able to sign off on it. And so when I was watching the video, I rewatched the part that they were probably talking about, and I was watching and I was like, I can see how someone who doesn't know me at all would assume that. They're wrong, but I can see what they're talking about, and I can understand the implication or the notion, the thought process they're probably getting. They're incorrect, but I can see it. We were talking about 2 characters in the It movie that happened to be gay, and I was simply...
Oh, at the beginning.
Yeah, I was simply quoting characters in the movie that are phobes, and I was using the words they used mostly because I was quoting them. I noticed in the entire video, at the very beginning, that's the only time I use those words. Because those are not normally my vocabulary. Those are normally not words I ever say myself at all. In fact, they felt weird listening to them on the playback. Because I watch the videos. I watch all of them. Every single video we ever make, every single stream that you guys have seen, I see that. And I look at it. And I will be in Premiere Pro. And I will, because that's the program I use to edit everything. And I skip through different parts of the video. And I either skip through it or I watch certain parts over and over again so I can kind of be like, does this play well? Like, that way I can also later on create a playlist in which we have sectioned out video pieces of, like, we review this movie, or we talked about this, or Tim went on his political rants about stuff.
Rants about people being dumbasses.
Yes, or that. And so I want to be able to create a playlist so that if there are people that are like, I love hearing only Tim talk, then I can be like, you know what? Here you go. Here's a helping of that. And then if, like, people are like, oh, I only want to hear Thomas's take on this. Right there. And so you have the full video, but then you'll have, like, strings of other videos in which you'll be able to see that. They'll eventually be created.
Highlights. Yeah,
highlights reel, essentially. And so I have to address that's the very first thing I have to address because as you guys have learned, I have a soapbox. And I wanted to go on my soapbox and talk about that real quick and be like, and address that and be like, the only reason why I deleted it was not because of you guys, anyone, not because of anyone who's going to assume anything or presume anything or be wrong about anything.
Or nobody who's actually watched the episodes live or whatnot.
Yeah. So, it's okay to be wrong, and you're wrong, but it's okay to be wrong, and I deleted it more for me than for you. So, I'm re-uploading it, I'm uploading the recut version, the one where it's basically that part is kind of scrubbed. Essentially, you get the gist. We're talking about that scene. We're talking about that part of the movie, and I imply on the sexuality of said characters. Tim immediately chimes in like he normally does, and goes, "Oh well, they're just being themselves," and I agree with him in that instance. And so in that context, I'm not calling them anything. I'm literally just quoting the movie, and so that the right implication, the right context will come into your head. It triggered the shit out of my brain this entire week, and I was only thinking about that one part for like the longest time because I was raised around someone who, in fact, several people. I lived in California for years, so I was living around that environment in which the people who are identified like that were considered bad, and they were considered, you know, whatever they're considered. And I'm not exactly sure how to put it, but it was considered a taboo. And I had friends and I had family I had friends and family who identified like that, and they were often considered problems in society, and I didn't agree with it, but it is what it is. So now that we're done talking about that, because I'm done, I've gone on my soapbox.
Before we get too far, make sure you plug in.
Yeah, I'll go into Twitch.
But before we get too far, so that way we make sure we have some sort of crap.
While I'm doing that, what's going on with your life this week, Tim?
Oh, funny thing, the wife doesn't care that I do this, but she made a comment. What was it? Last week on, I think it was Sunday, because the kids were at my sister-in-law's last Sunday, because they spent the night Saturday. Excuse me. But the whole thing there was also that, well, she's like, do you talk about us? Do you talk about me? Do you talk about... I'm like, dude, I don't talk about the house. Now I am, just because you mentioned it, so it's fresh in my head for this week's episode. But I mean, I don't do that usually. Mm-hmm. I usually don't talk about my family life because it's just, okay, wife, kids.
Separation, yeah.
Yeah. What about your family? My family's my family. Don't worry about it. We're all crazy. We're all nuts, and eventually we'll all either get thrown in jail or put in the loony bin. The only one who won't will be me, because I know how to stay out of the loony bin, because they tried to put me in when I was... Let me think. 13? 14?
Yeah.
Been forever.
Yeah, Amber told me times that she bounced around, because they were, because at some point in you guys' childhood, you were probably old enough to know what was going on, but when she was like 6, apparently they went through different foster homes, and they bounced around between house to house.
Foster home. What it was
that's what she called it.
No. It's somebody got all, your house is dirty, I'm calling the state. Bullshit. Like you've dealt with.
Yeah, fucking bullshit for over a year and a half.
Right? But they did that. Amber, Liz, Robin, Nephi, because that's who was there. Oh wait, no, I don't think we... Actually, I don't remember if we had Nephi or not. I would have been... I was 18. Yeah, I was 18 because they were like, well, we could throw you in jail because you don't clean your room. Dude, my room's blocked off from the rest of the house. Nobody goes in there. Well, yours is the biggest mess. My side of mess. Bed. My crap. Because I'm the person, this looks like a clusterfuck. Well, what were you looking for in this room? Oh, I know where that is. And I go and I grab it. It's an organized mess to me.
Due to trauma and due to post-traumatic stress disorder, because of the whole state involvement and because of everything, I cannot stand when our house is to that state. If anything is on the floor and anything is like not where it's supposed to be, I don't seize up necessarily like a typical Virgo does, because I'm a horoscope Virgo, but I'm also horoscope Aries apparently in the moon. I've been learning kind of like about how horoscopes work. It's kind of weird, but like
your Virgo in the
typically Virgos are extremely typical Virgos are extremely OCD. They're extremely, everything has to be planned, everything has to be non-spontaneous, and they have to have things a certain way, which that does play into like my editing, like how I write, like a lot of things that are then because things have to be a certain way. And I was raised around a dad who is most frequently, he's a Leo, but he was most frequently always quoted as saying, things have to be a certain way. If it's the cup is even 2 centimeters off to the side in my bathroom, it's wrong. And so like I had to deal with that growing up. So I find myself sounding like him sometimes, but I'll be sitting there, I'll be walking around the living room.
Your dad.
Yeah, I'll be walking around the living room, and the kids will be doing the things, you know, that the kids do, where they jump on the couch or they do the stuff and everything, and they're very hyperactive. And that was something social workers kept telling us. They're like, your kids are very hyperactive. And we're like, no, really? But like, I was sitting there walking around the living room. Yeah, I was walking around the living room, and I was sitting there, and I was trying to, you know, take care of the place, and the kids, you know, are doing what they do, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like going, Amber, why is the blankets everywhere? And she's like, because the kids are out. And I'm like, after they're done, or after you guys are done fucking everything up, fix it. And I'm just like, you know, going, you know,
what the hell?
You're, you know, take care of it. Like that's basically what I said. I was like, you know, you're the adult here. When I'm busy at work, because I work from home, as you guys have probably heard me tell the stories. And so, you know.
Well, we're 10 episodes in, so yes, everybody's heard the stories.
So you guys heard the stories. So I'll be walking around the room, and I'll be like, you know, frequently sound like my dad, infuriating like my dad, and I'll be like, so this is what it's going to be like, right? And she's like what? And I'm like, when you see dog poop on the floor, or when you see clothes everywhere, what do you do with it? And she's like, oh, I had Angel go in the bathroom, and she was supposed to go in there. I'm like, that's not what I asked. Let's not redirect. And she's just like, we're going back and forth on that whole thing. And I'm just like, dude, come on. All it takes is to get toilet paper, pick up the poop, flush it down. That's all it takes. If she's a puppy, she's going to shit places. She's going to shit places. I don't agree with killing animals, but like she shit places.
Well, no,
take care of it. Be an adult. Get it taken care of. And like
that's a me thing.
Yeah.
Shithead, quit shitting on the floor. I'm gonna fucking throw you outside. You can learn to shit outside while you're sitting in the front lawn, not being let back in.
Fucking, and then Nephi calls her football. Fi. The other P, by the way, which we haven't seen since episode 2 with the New Year's episode.
Was it 2? I thought it was 3.
It was 2. It was
okay.
the New Year's. It was the New Year's thing where we all yelled Jumanji. And
yeah,
I had a lot of fun editing that video and being like, Jumanji! Like, I put, like, text on the video that said Jumanji.
Yeah, I saw that on your
like,
channel.
And then when fucking Nephi was in the picture, I was like, the third P, Fi. But, like, yeah, like, so basically, whenever I'm trying to clean up the place, it drives me insane. When, like, I'm trying to, because, like, if I'm not in, like, that mode, then I'm, like, very relaxed, very much, like, whatever, and then people come over and they're like, why is your place a mess, dude? And I've always been given shit for that. They're always like, why is your place a mess? Why is your place, you know, ever clean? Why don't you just take care of it?
Isn't a mess, your place is a cluster.
And so, for me, it's like,
because you have kids.
Because of that in my head, like, it gets lodged in my head and just replays over and over again, because of that, and then because of the fact that, we dealt with the state, I can't handle when things aren't where they're supposed to be. Like, I got used to taking care of, like, in the living room, I have things a certain way. We have the shelf where it needs to be. We have everything where it needs to be. At night, will spend 20 minutes picking up everything, taking care of everything. Then I'll do a sweep of the entire apartment at night when they're all in bed. And then that way in the morning, when Amber gets up to take the kids to school, everything's all taken care of. You know, all the clothes where they need to be, everything's where they need to be, and she just literally just does doot. And then, like, and it was funny, there was one night where I addressed her, I was like, by the way, do you notice how you didn't have to look to find the clothes? And she's like, well, yeah, they were right where they're supposed to be. And I'm like, who did that? And she's like, you? And I'm like, yeah. Credit where it's due, motherfucker. And she was just like, well, you did a good job. And I'm like, I'm not a child. I may be a mad child, but I'm not a child.
And see, that's where I usually have issues. And that you've heard me bitch about it. It's like, dude, I don't get credit for anything I do, so I'm not going to do shit. Let's see how fast everything goes to crap. Everything's gone to crap, so I just sit there and go, okay, have fun in your ship. I'm just going to relax.
there were the times where I literally told her when one of our nightly duels where she's just like throwing words back at me and then I'm like throwing words at her. Kids are asleep so they don't fucking see it, and I'm just like going, I'm all like, you know what Tim would say in this situation? You know what Tim would do? And she's like, I don't care. Tim's not even here. And I'm like, well, Tim would agree with me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, throwing it at her, like, Tim would be there, dear. And then she's just all like, shut the fuck up, Thomas. I'm like, no, you shut the fuck up. And we're going back and forth.
You want to know what that sounds like?
Huh.
When I used to tell Teresa's sister Catherine when we all three lived in the townhome,
Yeah.
this is the three adults, told her, sure, your dad, and he's already admitted this, if you would call the cops like a bitch, I'd do what your dad do. I'd knock your damn face off, and then I'd say something now, bitch. Do your fucking job. Be a mom, pick up.
Well, also,
she used to be a dirty bitch. I mean, she's not near as bad now, but I'm sorry, her and her husband are still nasty little motherfuckers. And they got 3 kids, which don't fucking help.
yeah, Trent's an interesting individual when I saw him last.
That motherfucker.
Very quiet, very, like, soft-spoken, doesn't say a lot. And he's, like, 9 now, I think, or something like that. 8 or 9.
He's 8. He's 2 years under Connor. He's, like, 7 or 8.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, though, is it's like, that kid, I feel sorry for him,
7,
too.
That's right.
Because, like, his real dad, like, you know, I don't like talking bad about people who smoke pot or anything, because one of my favorite people in the world smokes pot a lot.
Catherine never had the blood test done.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh. Well, I'm just saying that, like, she said that, you know, his blood dad.
I know what she said.
She told the stories and stuff, and, like, while I do not like the stigma about, you know, people who do the recreational drug, at the same time, I'm just like, the guy's not even around, and, like, we don't ever hear from him, and so Trenton, unfortunately, has to grow up without a real, like, father figure, unless the guy that she's with is a really good one.
He's turned into a good father figure for Trenton.
Yeah.
But at the beginning, and Teresa ran down his damn ass for this, and this is why he doesn't like Teresa, but I agree with my wife completely on this one. Motherfucker, it's not, I have my first kid when Catherine got pregnant with their first kid.
Yeah.
No, I have another kid. She ripped him up one side down the other, and I just sit there smiling and smoking a cigarette. Yep, that's how you do it. Because, I mean, if she'd have came in, if me and her got together, she had a kid, or we'd gotten together and I had a kid, we'd already talked about it. No, it's just merge the families.
Yeah.
That camera's so off today.
Which one?
The one here, because of the low, where it cuts me off on my head.
Yeah.
From my point of view, it looks weird.
Yeah, no, it does. Then we need to get a different chair for you, because that kitchen chair, like, after Phoenix fell off of it, that's all she did, was she was sitting on the chair, from what I heard from what Ariane told me, because I was busy cleaning the other half of the loft, and I had my back turned, and I was running around with the vacuum, and I was like, doing all the things.
Was Amber in the bathroom or something?
No, she was downstairs, and she was on the couch. At least that's when I looked over, she was there. But, like, she was running back and forth between the kitchen and the living room, trying to get the food done and then sitting down and stuff, because her back was hurting. And so I was upstairs.
Well, you run back and forth from the kitchen and trying to keep what
I was helping the food with her, and I was running downstairs, and I was running upstairs, and running downstairs, upstairs. I was everywhere, and fucking was running around the vacuum.
But you gotta remember, though, she's got those big honkers, so she's heavy forward, so that just fucks up her back.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there doing that, and then out of nowhere, I hear ballistic screaming, and I'm like, look over, and there's Phoenix on the ground, and I'm like asking her, I'm like, Ariane, what happened? Like, what happened to her? And he's just like, she fell off the chair, Daddy. And I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, illustrate this to me, because I didn't see it. And he sits on the chair, like, you know, half on, like, you know, she normally does, and then he, like, illustrates falling off the chair onto the ground, and, like, you know, like, where her legs are kind of crisscross, and she, like, is on the ground with her arm, and she's, like, babying it and shit, and I'm like, look over, and Phoenix is just like, like, I'm asking her, I'm like, because normally Phoenix nods her head or does some sort of inclination. I'm like, that's what happened. But this time she's just like, and so I had her on my arms, and the whole time we couldn't get anything out of her. Like, she was just pain. And so I was sitting there, and I was like trying to comfort her, and in entire mode, I went into dad protective mode, where I was like, and then Amber had to run off with her. And at first, like, I was fighting it. I was like, you know, let's give it a little bit. But then Amber, like, because of the fact that Phoenix was not responsive to much, and then I turned on the flashlight, she, like, didn't follow the light or anything. She just looked at me with a noise, like, why are you sticking the bright light in my eye? So I was just like, Yeah, just take her in.
Definitely
Just take her in because like she's like in shock. We want to make sure she's just in shock and not having like concussion or anything. So they had to run her in, and then after that she came back. And the whole time, the last couple of days, I have just been Phoenix centric for the last few days because I'm trying to make sure she's okay, trying to make sure that she's fine with the cast. She's 2 years old, so it's like I was 12 when I broke my arm,
dude. Everybody else, except for me, in my family before Amber was born, had broken a leg, an arm, or some sort of body part. Me, I'm the handicapped one, the most handicapped at the time, for the family that lived in the area where we were living in Oklahoma, because Aunt Charlene lived out here already. But I was the one, and I've always been the one, never gotten a broken bone.
Really?
Until me and Teresa moved out of Russell's house the first time.
Yeah.
Into the apartment. And because of the way their crappy ass carpets were, I got up once. And because we just vacuumed. So the carpets were like, yay! You know, that new fluffy vacuumed bullshit. And it was just fluffy enough. I lost literally my grip through footing on the ground, slipped, and I broke this pinky toe.
Yeah.
But because of the way my freaking disability is, I just, okay, no, that just means I wear shoes around the house.
Yeah, I've broken my toe before. Like, I broken my toe, I broken my left arm, my right arm. My right arm was clean break all throughout the ulna, the radius.
I've never broken anything important. Well,
important.
Arms or legs.
Okay, then why'd you break your dick?
No. The only things I've broken has been toes. And my pinky toe is the only actual... Where's the camera? That's right, it's over here. Well, no, I'm so used to it being slightly off anyway.
Yeah, I have to remember.
This one,
it's like
you guys see it, but we got the camera here, and it's like, it's
with me sitting like this, I normally am like a way off center here.
Yeah, you're usually sitting over there, and I'm usually...
And so, yeah. And so, like, now I'm just like, right here.
Yeah, and I keep having to scoot over it here because I'm half out of frame on the computer.
Yep. So it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, this is where we're at. So I have to remember it's like right there.
Okay, well, I got a thought for you because I have my old computer chair that's kind of like a doctor's. You know, when you go to the doctor's office with the kids, they got the little bench there.
I could honestly just bring my computer chair from my work
chair
desk.
like that.
I could put
but it has no arms.
I could put my computer chair right there.
I don't like the arms on computer chairs. That's why I took mine off, because mine started to do this, and I just took out all the bolts out and just dropped the back and the arms off.
I think I brought that up to you before, and that's why I never did it, and then I forgot that you said you didn't like the arms. You could pull the arms up, by the way. Like, you can sit on it without the arms.
Well, because this one's broken. It's almost... Take off the other bolt in there, and then we go to, like, Ace or Lowe's or Home Depot and find the same bolt.
You'd have chair wings. If they only went up all the way up to the top,
I don't like this chair. Back support, no arms. Love it. I always hate chairs with arms. It's like, what do I need arms for? I have arms.
Your head's cut off a little bit.
I am God now. You can only see my mouth. Now I am God. Shut up, do what you're told. Sorry, y'all can't see it on Twitter. If anybody else is here, I don't know. Click on the little, on us, on the screen.
Okay. There's one viewer.
Which is you.
It might be. It's probably Amber.
No, it counts you because.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's right, because I'm not on your I'm not on your channel, like, logged in. I'm gonna share this shit, by the way.
No, go ahead. I forgot to tweet about it because we went and got drinks, but that's okay. It's all good. You didn't even bring your drink up all the way, did you?
Me? It's right there.
Okay. Well, I can't see it because you're blocking it, so.
There we go. It's tweeted. Or not tweeted, but Facebooked. I'll just bring the cup of beer right there.
Twitter?
Yeah. Probably should actually share that shit to Twitter. I haven't. There's not been that.
like I said, I forgot to put mine before I started it because I handed you my phone. Just stick it up there. I'm like, oh wait, oops. Oh fuck it. Like I said, I'm still not 100% used to this stuff on tweeting
Yeah.
and Facebook beforehand.
2 people are viewing. Woo! Aside from me. Well, one other person. Hi, person. Hi.
Which
you can
one
comment.
of our regulars is it, or is it you, Judy?
Yeah, whichever person is there, chime in.
There was something on chat
Do my favorite thing that I like to say whenever I do my movie reviews with Amber or whatever. Which, by the way, I have a Soul review that I am sending out like on YouTube. I just cut it together. The movie Soul, that dropped on Disney Plus. Amber and I did a review, and I have yet to post it or do anything with it just yet. Probably gonna post it this upcoming week. It's gonna be material I can just post. But we're gonna be doing more reviews, and I'm way behind on movie reviews because I was gonna do that as a regular thing, and that's why I kept calling it Teapot Chimes In, because I'm chiming in on the movie, that sort of thing.
Well, we gotta watch the. Okay, have you caught up on Wanda?
Oh yeah, no, I
haven't watched this week yet. Have you watched this week yet?
Episode 7?
8. We're on 8.
No, it's on episode 7.
No, 7 was last week.
No, 7 was this week.
You sure?
We find out more about Agatha. This last week, episode 6,
is where
she expands the fucking barrier.
Yeah.
That
was badass because the jackass general got sucked in.
Yep. Yeah, no, he actually narrowly escaped it.
Oh, that's right.
Everyone else got sucked in. Darcy got sucked in. Fucking Vision got resucked in.
No, but her get sucked in. I want to see where that plays into because she's been in previous movies and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, no, Darcy gets sucked in. Everyone gets sucked in. No, I'm all caught up to the 6th episode. Remember the last time we talked about this? You'd only watched the first episode.
First 2, yeah.
Yeah, first 2, and I watched the first 2. Now, since then, I have watched the entire. My favorite episode so far has still been the one where it's about Monica and the post blip, where you're able to see the world through the prism of a non-super, and she's like talking about her mom who just passed away, and she's like, "Where's my mom? Like she's in this room and stuff like that."
And when she came back,
she came back post blip or post snap where.
Snap. Iron Man, yeah.
Yeah, and
before it killed him,
where he's just like, "I am Iron Man," and he's like snaps at him. He just snaps at it, motherfucker. But like he does that, and so I actually watched. Okay. Every time I say something semi-funny, you're just all like, you start choking. Like when I kept making those shades cracks. Which, by the way, that episode calls 50 Shades of Madness. I didn't call it 50 Shades of Tim, even though I promised that, even though I threatened that. It's called 50 Shades of Madness.
No, I'm keeping the names you're putting on them because it coincides with the episodes perfectly.
Yeah, because I've got that theme going on. This last episode's called Monster Madness, and then because the whole It thing, and then the last episode before that was called Madness Nightfall, because it's the whole me reading out the chapters and stuff. So like I always find
more of that tonight.
Yeah.
We're on.
Well, if I last read chapter
6, because you were gonna read 5.
Yeah, 6. So that means
we're gonna
8.
read chapter 8.
That means 8. Yeah. So okay, so we get to things are
that'll
gonna
be around
down.
2:00.
Yeah. So things are gonna get slowed down a little bit for that part because that's where we get to
Listen to you talk.
Yeah, well,
about your book.
Well, no, in the story it slows down a little bit.
Okay.
Because remember, the first act is just nonstop action and then some talking and then action stuff.
Yeah.
The second act, the first part of it, is going to be like how the first act of the second book's going to be, where I slow things down quite a bit and give you time to marinate and learn of the families. And
get some of the extra info.
Yeah, and then so you learn about Peter's family and Virima's family, and they're having dinner together. And it was actually a sequence I written like 2-3 years ago, and I kept because I liked it. And there's a part where Ares goes, "Give the dog your food," like it's funny because like we're all having spaghetti and shit. But Abraxan attacks Virima in her mind in that scene. It's just like a brief attack thing, but it sets it off for the next part, which is chapter 9. And that like brings up the fight.
No, don't give away 9. We gotta get anybody who's coming in and who's
I
listened to
know.
the other 2 chapters, draw them in with another
But
chapter.
it's funny
like,
because
I missed chapters. Buy the book.
we're gonna jump from 8 to like 10, which is gonna be the lead-in, which is the book cover, the fight and stuff. And it's gonna be an
And then
interesting
skipping
thing.
to 12. Wait, we missed like 2 fights. Shut
Yep.
up.
And then
Buy the book.
yeah. And 11. What's funny is 11 actually is one of my favorite chapters too. Like it's
Nice.
it's the one where they have the school dance.
So do you want to maybe just skip 10, go straight to 11?
No, I want to read out 10 and 11. Maybe I'll read out 10 and 11 back to back.
Okay.
And then I'll skip to 13.
Then, and that'll be that'll be next week's episode. You can do that at the beginning of the episode. Or read like chapter 10 at the beginning, read chapter 11 at the end at the 2
Yeah,
parts.
actually, a lot of the meat of the book, a lot of the meat of where some of my favorite parts are, is the middle of the book, which is actually really awesome for a book because, while your third act can make or break your novel, the second act truly makes or breaks your novel because the first act is the setup. And even with a movie, the first act is the setup. It's where you get to know the characters.
This is why I
you
don't
learn
like
everything.
the way Teresa doesn't like the books I like.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Dragon Prince. The first 2 chapters, I think it's 2 or 3 chapters, are leading you in, telling you who everybody is, giving you all the info. Then you get into the actual story where stuff's happening and whatnot. It's just not little stuff.
Yeah.
And that's where she has issues because it's too slow at the beginning. Because it's the first book, jackass. It's introducing everybody, showing you the way the world works, and inviting you into the universe. This is how this works in this universe.
Does Teresa even know anything about the book that I wrote?
I don't know.
Probably
I don't
not.
even know if she's freaking looked at it because she told me that with Prime, she auto gets because she's the spouse.
Uh-huh.
I can she did it where she logged into my Amazon account and then sent herself the invite because I'm the Prime, because I'm the one paying for it.
Yeah.
But she sent herself the invite so that way she has Prime also for free.
Yeah.
Because when you pay for yourself, you can get your spouse and I think it's 2 other family members or your kids in.
Yeah.
So that's what she did.
Okay.
Because if you start paying for Prime, it's $100 and something a year, or like $90 something a year, and then there's a way to, I don't remember how to go into it. There's a YouTube video on it, but you can invite Amber, and then she could have her own Prime Video, and you have your Prime Video. So she can watch the shows she wants to off Prime. You can watch shows you want to off Prime, and then you can either pick your profile or her profile. Just sit downstairs and watch whatever movie that you want to watch on Prime, and then you review it.
Okay. Well, that's
Just
awesome.
a thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
This is the crazy stuff that pops into my head when I find out facts or find out stuff. I'm like, ooh, cool.
Yeah, I have Prime now. Like, I paid for it.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
That's why I watched The Boys. I mean, that's how I finished the second season. Which, by the way, The Boys,
I
some of
haven't
the
even,
best
I haven't
TV.
watched the first season fully. I'm only watched like 2 or 3 episodes in. After what's her name? Got brought into the heroes, and then Homeboy was acting like a rapo fucking pedophile, even though she's over the age of 18 on her and shit.
Which part of
The
Boys?
new chick, the new superhero that became part of the superhero.
Oh, you mean
group or
Stormfront?
whatever? Yeah.
The Nazi bitch?
No, when she first came in season 1.
Oh, you're talking
blonde,
about. Oh, you're talking about Stormlight.
Yeah.
What about her about pedophilia?
The guy that she was teamed up with was acting like
the Deep?
baby.
The Deep? Oh, the Deep? Oh, yeah, that kind of
He was being a little douchebag asshole at the
Oh, yeah,
beginning.
no, yeah, he gets what's coming to him.
Oh, no, I knew that was coming because I've seen stuff about it.
Yeah.
I just haven't watched it. And plus, it's kind of hard to watch Prime at home because if the kids are home or Teresa's home, it's like, what are you watching? So I just put on, or here's what, anytime I've been at home, like if I decide not to go to the gym before I go donate on Tuesday or Thursday, I just sit at home and I watch Last Man Standing off of Hulu.
Dude, like, Wanda Vision is like that bag of chips that you eat.
I am enjoying the fuck out of it.
Where like, oh, you went from hating, not liking, and not being into it.
I didn't like the first 2 episodes.
Yeah,
I like the rest so far.
So
How Vision's starting to become aware of what the fuck's going on.
yeah, I like that part. But the problem I'm having with it overall, from a constructive point,
Okay.
because you like things without looking at them constructively, like me, right? We look at it two
Well, I
completely
look at
different
them
ways.
differently, but yeah.
We look at them completely different ways.
Oh, yeah.
So, with that being said, I am currently, because I'm about to write a psychological horror novel. Remember, the second
Yes.
book's supposed to be a psychological horror, supposed to delve into the post of everything that happened in the first book. So I'm like watching Wanda Vision, and while I'm enjoying it for what it is, and I'm gonna watch the next two episodes with relish, glee, and be like, at the same time, by the same token, I can't help but sit back and go, she's dealing with PTSD right now, and we don't really cover that much. Like, there's some stuff to do with what she's dealing with where we almost,
From a psychological point
yeah,
of view?
we almost get to the meat of like whatever she's dealing with, and then we don't quite get there because Marvel pulls it back and is trying to stay family friendly, and so they show bits of it by showing like the furniture changing, and then like showing her like wanting to take a day off, and then Agatha pulling a fast one on her and being like, and
yeah.
So have you seen that one? The most recent one?
The one that just came out yesterday.
Yeah, I'm not. So I'm only gonna say that about it. So she takes a day off, and she like decides, and then furniture starts changing around her, and so they kind of go into a little bit, and they even make a funny little medical joke.
Somebody made a comment on YouTube about when the boys were aging themselves older.
Yeah,
the
that's
two times
episode.
they did that.
Yeah, it's episode 3 and 6 then.
But
Because they don't age up in the 6th episode, but that was a fun one, by the way. That was my second favorite.
Twice in the one episode.
No, the one where they're the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Where they
well, that's the
make
last
the commentary
one I
being like he's like Kick-Ass, and I'm just like, I'm a Kick-Ass fan. I have a deep cuts. Like, I remember I was 23 years old and when I read the original Kick-Ass comic. I watched the movie a billion times. I love Kick-Ass. That's amazing.
I've watched the 2 movies that had to deal with that. Good movies.
Well, it's a nod to the fact that both Pietros are both from Kick-Ass. the first Pietro was literally Kick-Ass, and then the second one was Buddy.
A YouTube video, because it was one of the channels I watch that talks about comics, talks about, the Marvel Universe and the movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the series that Disney's brought up with it, or some of the stuff that Fox has done with the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And they brought up that fact right there, that they were both in Kick-Ass.
Yes, it is amazing because I'm watching the episode where he's walking around as Pietro, and she's like, why are you being so weird? And he's like, well, why are you being weird? You don't even have the accent. Blah blah blah. This, and I'm like, I'm watching him call her ass out, and I'm just like going. Because in Kick-Ass the movie, this first movie, when Todd, he plays the character Todd.
Yeah.
When he's playing Todd is the super geek, like the super it's kind of like he's a super geek, but he's not like I'm gonna build computers. He's more like I love computers, but I'm not gonna play with them. But like Kick-Ass and him are walking around town and stuff, and he's watching his buddy go around with Kick-Ass stuff. And he's not the guy with the glasses, but he's the other guy, Todd. Yeah. And there was one episode where one part of the movie where he's like, just kick his kneecaps, it'll be fine. And so in this one episode, he makes a joke talking about kneecaps, and I was like, oh my god, that's a Kick-Ass nod. Like, it was like the people, they clearly knew that they were messing with the same actor from Kick-Ass, and so they were clearly knew that they were doing deep cuts. Like, I was just like going...
They talked about that in the YouTube video, how they were doing that, and I'm like, well, shit, I didn't watch the episode yet. Okay, watch Halloween episode 2 with the talking.
Yeah. And I like that episode a lot. It's fact, by the time we got to the end, and, like, the thing goes... and, like, just expands and shit, I'm just like going... They're going there. Like, her abilities come from the Reality Stone.
Oh, and they were talking about that before that episode on the thing I was watching. That, yeah, well, she...
Wait, it was the Mind Stone that she gets her abilities from. I keep getting it wrong.
Well, that's what they believe, but the funny part is, she's expanding it, and because he's from the alternate Marvel universe, now being brought into the regular Marvel universe.
Yeah.
That's how they're merging it, because she's gonna do that to the whole world by the end of the series. Is what somebody made a prediction of.
More.
And that's
mutants.
how you get the mutants, because they're all the people who were erased.
Yeah, the
And when
House
they
of M
came
threat.
back, and because of her ability, because they were even talking about that on what's the chick's name? The black chick.
Monica.
That
Monica
went in
Rambeau.
and came back out.
Yeah, Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, Rambo.
It's funny
Sorry,
her
I
name
was
is-
trying to remember
It's
the
funny.
last
Her name
name.
is Rambo, and they make Rambo jokes in the story.
We get it completely. But no, the geek girl who found the TV show signal was talking about, because when they went back in to look at the stuff on the Halloween episode, they were talking. She was talking about how they found. Well, that her blood test was saying that her genes were mutating,
Yeah.
and if what was it, a third of the world disappeared,
Yeah.
and they got brought back.
Post snap.
When she expands it and it encompasses the whole world, all of those people are going to become the mutants.
So
That's how the whole
shit.
universe.
So you think that this whole thing, the whole series, is gonna get capped off? The last scene of the fucking series is gonna
Of the
cap
first
off
season.
with the whole fucking world getting encompassed by her magic.
Well, somebody made a prediction about that on the YouTube video I was watching. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that fits in so perfectly. Because she's even said she doesn't know how she's done it.
Yeah.
She just did it. It just happened.
Okay. So one thing.
And for my thought,
Go ahead.
because the picture they have is from the not MCU X-Men,
Yeah.
it's the whole thing of she doesn't realize that because she's created this bubble world,
Yeah.
it has to do with the Magneto being her father in the alternate universe,
Yeah.
which is what's making her ability act the way it is, because that's part of the magnetic genes that she got from him. The magnetic genes is also why Pietro
Yeah.
runs so fast, but because hers is mental, that's what's creating the magnetic field. Basically, it's a giant force field. So when the next thing happens in an episode or two, maybe three, it'll be the whole world.
Yeah.
Or that'll be, they leave it off, leaving that as a cliffhanger for season 2.
I just suddenly realized something. Big brain moment.
I saw it in your eyes
Big
when I
brain
was saying
moment.
it. I saw the light bulb go off.
Big brain moment. So,
Alright, since
episode
we're reviewing and discussing Wanda Vision, keep going.
episode 3 is one of the biggest episodes, right? Because the kids age up.
Yeah.
We learn more about the world. We learn more about the stuff. We see more of that whole technology being talked about with Hayward, and like he talks about the Vision body, and then they're trying to get a hold of her and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And then in episode 6, we do the whole Halloween episode. We see the world being expanded. My thought, just talking about what you're talking about, the guy who plays Vision, Paul Bettany, has talked over and over again recently in interviews, saying that the special guest star, the big reveal at the very end of the series, the first season, is supposed to be a very high class actor, someone he's always wanted to work with. The storyline's called House of M, right? Everyone's assuming it's Mephisto. I've always thought it was Mephisto, but with the way you just pitched it to me, the way you just talked about episode 6, and then now you got 9.
The fourth door for you.
So you got 9. What in magic? What is a big number? 3, 6, 9. Very last episode, world expands and encompasses the entire world. Magneto shows up, bitch! And then she goes, no more mutants. Then instead of no more mutants, she says, more mutants! And suddenly everyone's being rewritten. Suddenly the world's being encompassed. And then Doctor Strange.
Multi-universe.
Yes.
Straight into that movie. Yeah, because they even talked about that this might be how they're bringing the X-Men in, and they made a comment about how the new Doctor Strange movie is supposed to be the multi-universe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that works, because my brain instantly goes, with Magneto being her dad, her powers have to do with magnetism. Because everything physically and mentally, your whole body works on some sort of magnetic axis.
Yeah.
So, on that note, she's basically just merging two universes. That's where I think it will catch Doctor Strange's view, and that's where it hops into. They're going to do the movie's going to come out this year.
Yeah.
After the season ends, and then they're going to do season 2, and it's going to connect other stuff.
Sidebar.
Other movies. Yeah.
You remember Monica?
Uh-huh.
Her name's M. So
that's Witch something. The one, the regular chick who's supposed to be around when the boys grow up and she doesn't flip out.
Yeah. Agnes.
That was the other thing.
Agnes.
Yeah, Agnes. They were talking about her, that she's a witch in the comic books that tries to control Wanda and Pietro through some sort of mental thing.
The episode has dropped
and I can't
already,
remember what
so I'm not
the chick's
technically
name is.
spoiling anything, but
You're not gonna
episode
spoil it for me 'cause
7.
I've seen some stuff and I have some theories already.
Episode 7 reveals that Agnes is Agatha.
Is a mutant?
Witch.
Well,
And
a witch is a
Pietro
mutant, technically.
and Agatha are working together.
Well, I already knew that.
So
that light bulb already went off in my head.
Okay, so
But okay.
I looked
They
up.
actually show
I
it.
looked
Nice.
up. Yeah, so I looked up information on Monica because I was curious about her, and I was like, because there's a scene in episode 7 where Monica walks right back through the portal thing, like the
wall,
the barrier, yes, and her eyes turn fucking bluish white. Her fucking fingers pulsate with energy, and she like does her superhero pose where she lands on her knees. She does superhero landing, and so they're like this
Somebody
obvious.
was saying
it's like the
something
Deadpool
about
nod.
she's supposed to be the next Miss Marvel.
Yeah, in the comic, she becomes the next Captain Marvel. So
Captain, my bad.
So my thought is she's either a redirect, like either a red herring for the House of M storyline.
Oh yeah.
Or she is the House of M storyline.
I don't think so. I had to think it has something to do with Magneto.
You think Magneto is going to be
because she doesn't fully understand her powers, but if you pull in the alternate universe and the Mind Stone let them tap into that, and that's how they got their powers, because they didn't realize through an alternate universe that was their father. That's why they got the powers they got.
So you think Magneto, Michael Fassbender, from the alternate X-Men reality?
No, I think the scientists who were messing with it, who like, we're gonna test it out, and they got powers because they were messing with the Mind Stone and whatnot.
Yeah.
Accidentally tapped them into their alternate universe powers, where Magneto is their father, because they talk about their mother in the episode, but they don't talk about their dad.
Yeah, they talk a lot about
really.
their mom, but they don't talk about their dad, not really. And they don't go into that.
So that makes me think it's Magneto from this universe who isn't a mutant, but when the field expands, it shows that actually your father in an alternate universe was a mutant, and because of the Mind Stone, you got the mutant powers if you were born in that universe. That's why Pietro is now the Pietro from that universe, because in that universe, Magneto was his father. You just got added in because in this universe, you were supposed to be his daughter too.
You know,
because the actual character is her father from that universe.
Yeah.
But in that universe, the original universe of Wanda and Pietro from the Avengers Ultron movie, he didn't have powers. But once the universes get merged, they see and realize, oh shit, he's my dad. Pietro knows already that he's from an alternate universe. That's why he's like, I don't know why I'm different. Bullshit.
Okay, so
see, I have all this already thought out, dude.
So in episode 7,
which
there's
I
a
haven't
part.
watched, but
There's a part where Monica walks through the thing, right?
okay.
And you know how like I've described the dream state to you, and I go
Yeah,
into a little
from-
bit with Orion
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know how like I talk about how in the dream state the time is not a linear thing.
Oh, yeah.
Time
Most
time time is literally just a concept, and it's literally you see like your past, present, and future all at once when you're in the dream state, or when he's walking through it anyway. When she walks through that barrier, that wall, and she's like getting her powers essentially, like fully harnessed and everything, or at least
Okay.
the beginning of it. Um, she hears her past self. She hears Captain Marvel. She hears her mom talking to her, and she's like going through the barrier, and she's that whole thing with Doctor Strange where he's able to like do like his little magic stuff like that, the Sorcerer Supreme stuff.
Uh-huh.
She goes through that portal, like that portal like thing, and it is like that, and so she's basically going through that entire thing. So what it showed me was that they're going to be able to do the exact thing you're talking about. They're going to be doing the exact same thing. They're going to be able to pull.
They're merging
and,
two universes.
And this is after Endgame. So they've
Oh,
already
yeah.
covered time travel. So time travel's a thing.
Well,
So
they
now
covered
they've
the
got magic and
multi-universe
time
in the
travel.
first Doctor Strange movie too.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've already got the two pieces you need, and now this is how we're gonna bring X-Men into MCU.
Yeah, so, okay. So,
because I watch channels where they've been talking about how the hell are they gonna do it, how they're gonna do it, and in the first 2 or 3 episodes of Wanda Vision, they're like, we know how they're gonna do it because this is Pietro from X-Men.
yes.
So yeah, no, I've already.
Okay, so basically, I'm thinking that Magneto's going to be the big star at the end, and I'm thinking,
Oh, I think so too.
and I'm thinking that they're probably going to use time travel to pull Magneto from the alternate reality, and they're probably going to use that. And if they don't use that angle, they're probably going to go with a different one in which Magneto still comes in somehow and gets played
or
into
gets
that.
dragged in.
Yeah, or gets dragged in. Plus, also you got Agnes, and then you got or Agatha, and then you got Pietro as 2, who's number 3. And if Agatha is working with someone else who's controlling Pietro, which in this episode is revealed that she is controlling Pietro essentially, but she basically is doing that thing.
What is it? The Professor X, the mental.
Yeah, the telepathy.
Yeah,
So,
to control somebody else and whatnot, like Professor X did in the second movie where he froze the whole museum because Dum Dum accidentally did the thing with the fire.
yeah. So,
Dumbass, no.
so I'm thinking that
And if it's not Magneto, I'm trying to think of another one.
and I'm sure. See, and I was convinced for a long time that Pietro was essentially Mephisto in disguise, but I'm not so sure about that anymore.
No, see, that's why it's the whole alternate universe. That's why when what's her name said she recast Pietro, no, because she has the bubble, and when they talked about the black chick getting the
Monica.
yeah, I'm bad with names, dude. But Monica, her genes were still altering, even though she came back into what they consider regular reality.
Yeah.
It proves the point of, well, that doesn't make it reality. That makes it 2 different realities, and it's a pocket dimension. So one of 2 things: either she absorbs the whole world, or it becomes so big she can't control it. It explodes, and the universes merge.
And in this last episode, she was actually shown to be struggling with control over this whole thing. So that's already started. Like the spiraling has already started. So by the time you get to episode 9, she's truly going to be spiraling, and if she expands even more, then she's going to need help with keeping control.
But see, I don't think she's going to do it on purpose. Because she's losing control.
Mm-hmm.
It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
She's going to try to. It's going to start doing it on its own because it's already so big and it's gathering so much energy because of the whole magnetism thing.
Yeah.
Because of how Vision went out of the border and then started to break apart.
Yeah.
And because he's basically made of metal, it was pulling him back in.
Yeah.
Like a magnet to any metal. So my thought is, it's just going to get too big for her powers as they have not been developed fully or trained fully. She's going to lose control, and that's what's going to make it absorb the whole world or universe. Because she loses control at the optimum time where she has to try to concentrate.
Yeah.
She's not going to have enough control because she hasn't learned how. like she would have in the X-Men universe, and like they show her learning when she was a kid in the old X-Men comic books and the cartoon series.
Yeah.
Because she didn't get that training in the MCU universe.
Yeah, she really didn't. She just sort of started using her powers.
Yeah, she just got it at random through the experiments they were running. But what they didn't realize is they were tapping into her alternate universe powers. But the funny part is, because she didn't get the full training like she did in the actual X-Men comic books and series.
Yeah.
She's gonna lose control, and because she loses control, it doesn't shrink; it just explodes.
Okay.
And just envelops everything. That's how I see it from my point of view.
It's an interesting point of view. My brain is buzzing right now and thinking of all the things that like you're talking about, and I'm like kind of seeing it, like how that would happen.
But growing up, watching all the cartoons, and then reading the comic books because of the cartoons, some of the shit I know, and some of the shit I just random. Oh yeah, this fact about that stuff.
Professor Hulk's a thing, and they made so many things a thing, and like, oh my god!
Actually, because he's Professor Hulk, he's actually no longer supposed to be green. That's supposed to turn him into the original Hulk, which is great. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's already
because
Grey Hulk.
Angry Hulk, the anger is what makes him green.
Yeah. So. Okay.
That's gonna be funny if they figure out a way to put that into the MCU, because it's gonna be like, yes.
So
you finally did it right. You found a way.
So just be clear, I don't hate WandaVision, by the way, guys.
Oh no, we're enjoying it.
I enjoy the shit out of it. I just, whenever I do look at it constructively at the end of the episode, I just kind of go. Some episodes, obviously, I'm just like I enjoy more than others, which is same with any show that you would watch typically.
Oh yeah.
But like there are certain episodes where I'm just like it could have been better. Like this last episode 7 could have been better. But that's only because episode 6 kicked so much ass. It's only because I was like sucked in.
Top of the mountain. Now they gotta drag you back down before they shove you back up right before.
Yep. So I'm hoping
next 3 sets.
I was telling my dad, I was like, episode 8 and 9 better kick my ass, because episode 7 kind of was like that. It was like that burn thing. It was like a slow burn thing. They were just like, okay, so you're starting to do it, and like
8's just gonna start picking up, and 9's just gonna knock your ass out.
Yeah, I hope so. I want to be knocked out. Like, I wanted to fucking do a KO, and for me to be sitting there like on the chair and be like, oh, like just be like,
what the fuck just happened?
Like I came 3 times. Like they started already playing with it, and then like I started pre-coming, and then like they just kept going on it with it.
This is why we're out all constant after midnight.
Yeah, and then like I just kept going, and then after I've exploded, they just kept going, and then I've just been like, no more. And then Disney's like, I'm not done with you yet, and so that's what I want to happen.
The way you explain shit's funny as well. No offense.
I'm not taking any offense to it. You're laughing. At least someone's laughing.
But I get the joke. But no, yet even your late night humor.
Well,
but that's also why we decided to start doing this after midnight.
Yeah.
So that way we gotta worry about little people.
Yeah, this is Skinemax type content right here. Was one episode where I was making constant 50 Shades Tim jokes, so
we go in every direction at all the same time.
We do.
But no, that's why I wanted to talk about it, because after I watched the episode I mentioned
Dude, I did not realize that you'd gone that far with WandaVision. I was like...
Dude, I caught up.
Like, I'm sitting here like...
I had to wait for the episode.
And then, like, I suddenly realized, I'm like, you may not have watched The Boys all the way, but you watched WandaVision, so we could fucking talk about WandaVision.
Well, that's why I brought it up. Because, well, we can at least talk about this show, because I've watched up to this episode.
So, out of the first 6 that you've watched, what's your favorite?
I actually like the last episode.
The 6th episode?
Where it expands.
You like that one then, huh? Like where they really get
the part I liked was at the end where she expanded it, and the part that I thought was hilarious. Army tents. We're camped out. We're scouting. It's a carnival. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fucking hilarious. It's the fucking circus carnival. Yeah, no, this is gonna be priceless.
I always love carnival moments like that where there's like carnivals and shit or circuses, but I think that part of that comes from Cirque du Freak.
Well, for me, I love it because in Shawnee, Oklahoma, you get the high... Okay. We lived over here. Well, you can't see it there. But screw it. We lived over here, right?
Mhm.
On this side of town.
Yeah.
The high school was over here.
Yeah.
Literally on the other side of town, right next to the highway going out of town.
Yeah.
In either direction to OKC or Missouri.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to remember which highway I was on.
For reference.
Well, yeah, for reference. Because you go to the street, it's called Kickapoo Spur, and across the street was a little strip mall.
Yeah.
It's where I bought my first fiance promise ring. Looked like a real diamond. She lost it.
At least it wasn't real.
Well, no, it was more that you lost the ring I bought you. Somebody stole it. No, you were a dumbass and didn't keep it on your finger. You couldn't have just said, look what I got, bitches. Yeah. Sort of thing. Because everybody's like, oh my god, is that a real diamond? Because I picked the perfect man-made diamond.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell it from a real one, even if you were professional and looking at it. I picked the thing that was so goddamn close to real. You'd have had to have the little freaking. No, that's a man-made one.
Yeah.
You know, the little magnifying glass.
Mm-hmm.
But every year there was always a carnival across the street from the because the high school was on this street. But you had the Chevy lot here, a used Chevy lot, and then across the street, Kickapoo Spur, which was a 4-lane.
Yeah. And
then you had a middle. In the middle was the grass and the some sort of tree that has pink flowers on it. That's what Shawnee used to be known for, and they started to regrow those trees. I mean, they look beautiful as hell. Because right before I left, I actually saw them. They're beautiful. Oh my god.
Beautiful as fuck.
Oh yeah. But
chef's kiss.
The carnival was there. I went one year. I said, screw school. I'm not going that day. Fuck off. There's a carnival across the street. I took my 30 bucks I'd made. Went over there. I went over to the dart thing, right?
Yeah.
Ended up playing darts to pop the balloons. Almost every dart I threw, I hit a balloon. So I had like freaking a boatload of posters at the end of that. Okay, gotta shove that in my backpack. Okay, shit, that's almost full. And then the next year when they came back, I went over. I started throwing the darts. It was the same guy. He's like, dude, just give me the $1 and I'll just, what poster do you want? Because 99% of the time you're popping the balloons. Here's $1. I want that poster. Okay. I got like 5 posters and then I just went around and goofed off with my buddy I made that year. That was my 11th or 12th grade year, which was TJ.
Yeah.
I mean, he was my high school buddy because me and him met in 10th grade when I started lifting weights in high school. And we're buddies ever since.
Yeah. Keep going. I'm just reposting it again.
But go for it. But I mean, you know, he was one of my best friends. Him, I could talk to about anything. We could shoot the shit, smoke pot, kick ass, or just say, oh, fuck you, I'm not wasting my damn energy on you, and walk away. Because we did that all the time. Y'all want to fight? Yeah, I wouldn't waste my energy. And then TJ would be like, dude, if he freaking actually decided to waste his energy, you'd be laid out like a fat bitch after a good banging. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. And then the guy tried to swing at me and I laid his Twice that happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, I have my fun and he was always my backer. I always gave him shit because he was a big guy. Titties. Dude, what are you, gay? No, you're just the one dude who actually has tits because you're fat and short. Shut up.
Yeah.
Because he, no offense, me now, he was your height. Just slightly chubbier.
Yeah.
And he had a heart condition.
Okay.
Which messed up his breathing, so he always had a brain fart.
Just have Wanda just do the little things with her. It's like...
Inhaler. He always had an inhaler on him, and I asked him about it. Because me and him used to run around during the summers in high school after I met him. We'd mow a couple lawns here and there, make a few bucks, and goof off.
Yeah.
During the weekends, where me and him just run off and just shoot the shit and walk the town 3 or 4 times during the weekend.
Yeah.
That's what we did. We shot the shit and either hung out with... Me and him hung out at his girlfriend's house. She hung out with us. Or me and him would just go to somebody we knew or just walk around town running into somebody we knew, shoot the shit all day.
Yeah.
Or go over to his adopted aunt, which was like his dad's best friend, who was a female. And we basically smoked pot, got high, and I ate her food. And then right before I left high school, I said I wasn't dealing with the bureaucracy of high school because they weren't helping me graduate and they were dragging their ass. And I'm like, dude, it's boring. I need something to keep me, I need one-on-one teaching, or just give me the book and let me do my teach at my own speed. And when I'm done with the books, but back then they didn't have it like they do now. Cause remember, no, I don't know if you remember, but we had Nephi doing that right before he graduated. Cause we thought he was behind a few. Funny part was he wasn't as far behind as we thought his last year of high school.
Yeah.
And he ended up getting so far ahead, he only had to do half a day for the second half of his senior year.
Okay.
Because we'd gotten him so far ahead because they had a little package you could do to do credits. Because I'd have done that during the summer. But the way the math was in summer school, I'm like, dude, I don't know how to do this. We never got this far during school. You guys are like 2 steps ahead. You actually have to teach me this shit.
Yeah.
The only thing I ever had trouble with in math was number to the exponent of infinity. Dude, you can't write that down because there's not a fucking thing that equals on that. No. You just do this and this and this, and then it's still the exponent of infinity. No. So you're just timesing the numbers together and just putting an infinity above the last number to be a douchebag? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was another way. It wasn't just straight math. It was but you gotta do this before you get to here. It's like, you added an extra step to go, the fuck?
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that was the only time I ever had trouble with math. And then when I got to senior year and I was doing Algebra 3, I basically fell asleep because the shit was so damn slow. I could do every math equation the teacher ever put up, and I slept through the class.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, math class was nap time for me. That's why I decided, you know what, I'm done. You guys can't teach me anything.
Yeah.
So I just bounced. I went to Job Corps, got certified as a head chef, and then when it came out of Job Corps, nobody would hire me because I was overqualified for all the fucking jobs I wanted. And they didn't want me to pay me what I was worth, so I said, fine, fuck you.
Yeah, that's how a lot of jobs are, though. Like, they don't pay anybody.
Well, that's why I got stuck in freaking retail. Because with retail, you didn't do a good enough job. Fuck you, you're not the boss. Because that's the biggest issue I always have with retail. Especially the job I had before I moved out here in Ohio, at UDF. All the other employees that were supposed to come in at 7, who didn't make it in until 7:15 to 7:30.
Yeah.
So which means I get an extra half 15 minutes to half an hour every day of work. Plus, I'm also clocking in 15 minutes early, so that way the nighttime crew, the mid shift, could leave on time. Fuck you, you lazy bitch. Because I filled up the freaking cooler. I got assholes coming in. I fill up the cooler after the beer, after you can't buy beer at 1. And then I have at least 100 customers between me and the other worker that we're ringing out for coffee and drinks. But yet I didn't fill the cooler. Fuck you, I filled the cooler. The issue is we get 100 customers every fucking morning. The only difference between when I work and the other fat bitch works, who ended up getting the shift lead, was she'd leave the old lady who did the cleaning for the ice cream parlor part of the store. She'd leave her out there for like half an hour to an hour at a time and go back in and refill the cooler mid-morning rush. No, bitch, you got too many customers to do that. I'm not a dumbass. I'd rather get all the customers taken care of. That's why the customers all like me. And that same shit tried to happen at Maverick because employees were saying I was being lazy and cussing too much in front of customers. But when customers were in the store, I didn't cuss. If customers were in the store, shut up, deal with it. I'm being the natural me.
And a lot of customers, like, depending on who you run into, will be either offended by that or will engage and swear themselves. So.
Dude, no, after I got fired for swearing too much, I actually talked about it, and the funny part was, the person I talked to was one of my regular customers, and I didn't know he was in the same steak ward as me, Russell, and Brenda when we first moved into that house that they're in. And he's like, what are you talking about? You never cuss.
You know, the shitty.
I see you every morning before I go to work, and I've even seen you before I go to bed at night when I swing in to get a drink.
It sucks so bad in the phone job world, because in the phone job world, you even say one cuss word and you can get fired.
That's why I wouldn't be good on the phone. Fuck you, you're dumbass. You should have done that a month ago.
Yeah, the entire life. I have lifeblood of me working phones. Like, if they even call, like, you saying even fuck at all, or shit, or damn, or anything. If any
Shut up, you pussy. Get a goddamn real job. Pay your bills.
They wouldn't even, like, well, it's not even like customers. Like, cause some of the customers, they'd fucking swear with you and shit. But
well,
like,
they're allowed. They're the customer.
Yeah, but like fucking Verizon though, or any company really that I've ever worked for, DirecTV, any of them, like that shit came out of your mouth, they get fired or written
on the phone. You're not supposed to cuss because you're customer service.
It's that whole like.
Well, the dude's cussing at me for 5 minutes. I gotta say, hey, motherfucker. Did you just call me motherfucker? No, I just said, hey, motherfucker, so you listen. Okay, now let's talk about what the real issue is. The issue isn't that you're pissed because your phones got canceled. The issue is you're pissed because you didn't realize your bill was due because you ain't paying attention to it because you, as I can see from your file, decided to go to a paperless bill. Do you want to reactivate your paper bill so that way you actually get something in the mail so you know when the hell your bill is?
I'm not going to go into like my customer service voice. That would be annoying.
No, but I can go from straight asshole to calm, cool, and collected, Tim. You've seen it.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. That's not what the hell we were talking about. Okay, now that we're done dealing with that idiot being over loud about that shit. Do you agree or disagree?
Well, part of
I do that all the time, though.
Me doing CrazyP's though is my way of being able to divorce myself from using my voice and being able to like jump into it. So I'm not even gonna like use my energy to do that at all. I'm just gonna say that it is super annoying whenever customers call in and you have to control your voice, control how you talk to them, and just like constantly like it feels like a guilt trip when they call in and they're like, I've been waiting for 45 minutes, and you're just like,
you can actually say, this is the reason you have multiple personalities, because you created one just for work. Dude, I have multiple personalities. The funny part is, doesn't that fuck with you? Dude, if you heard half the shit I heard them say, you'd shit your pants. 1. 2, if anybody knew what was going on in my head half the time, they'd be too afraid to be friends with me. So shut up and just deal with me.
yeah.
Because you don't know which Tim you're going to get. You're going to get asshole Tim, fuck you Tim, I love you Tim, or I'm fucking her.
See, what's funny is anyone who knows you, in fact, if anyone in the family knows you, like Amber especially, and every time I say anything about you and stuff, she's like, well, that's just Tim. That's just Tim being Tim. And I'm just like, okay. I was
Dude,
like,
I'm everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. I've always been like that, though, and that drives us so fucking nuts, which fucking makes me laugh my ass off.
Like, I've talked to my brother about a band that he works with a lot, and I got told that some of them don't like me very much. And she's like, well, that's kind of like Tim, you know, it's hard to stomach, you know, it's just the way that personality is. And I'm just like, what the fuck that supposed to mean? And she's just like, well, it's like Tim, you know, Tim brushes people wrong.
Everybody loves us, but at the same time, they're fucking scared and hate us. And I see nothing wrong with that. If they want to hate us, let them hate. Because I love people who hate me. Okay, do you really hate me, or do you just dislike my opinion, or scared shitless to fucking own up and say something? I don't have to say something. You know who you are. I'm a complete asshole, and I admit it. What's your fucking issue? I told you that when we first were starting to become friends. Oh, just remember, I'm an asshole, and I flip a bitch and flip the script at any goddamn second I want to. Why? Because that's me. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna happen.
What's funny is you've been bringing out a bit more of my asshole, and you ended up using your words sometimes where like people are just like, I'll say things, then I'll just say, oh, but that's just my asshole coming out, or I'll say things that are all like, that's just this thing coming out, and I'm just like, am I starting to say shit that Tim says now? What the fuck?
I have trained you well. But see, you gotta know when to sometimes it's like, no, I'm not asshole all the time. I'm asshole for like 5 minutes. Then it's like, okay, cool.
Well, it's like something that I've always gone by for many years is, you know, I can get along with just about anybody, but if like they start crossing me or they start, you know, doing dumb shit or being a real cunt, then I'll be like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. Then I'm gonna be me and be an asshole, and you're gonna deal with it.
Yeah. Oh, fuck me? Okay, fuck you too. Well, let's be honest. Da 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 da. All the bullshit you've done that I've seen, and here's your biggest asshole property. Now,
Yep.
either you're gonna join the asshole crew, or you're gonna shut the fuck up and be a bitch, do what the fuck you're told. What do you pick?
Yeah. But it's like,
I've always been like that.
yeah.
That's
I've
why a
noticed
lot of
that-
people don't like me.
But I noticed that you're rubbing off of me fucking a lot. Because I'm just like going, even like
But
some of
that's
my
a good
outlooks have been
thing, though.
shifting.
You seem to be a lot less pimped up.
Yeah, a
So-
little bit less pent up, except for earlier when I was telling you and Amber about how overwhelmed I was this week. Oh my god.
But see, that's usually when I'm over on Friday, you let out that stuff on Friday. But the last couple Fridays, I've been so busy, I haven't come over.
Yeah.
But 2 Fridays ago, you and Amber were asleep by 11 because I was busy doing stuff in DoorDash and whatnot, and I didn't get over till
Kids
11.
wipe me out.
And I called y'all. You didn't answer. Amber didn't answer. I was like, okay, I'll
I was
just go
laying on
home.
the fucking
I'll crash out.
laying on the fucking couch, and the kids Arian decided to take it upon himself to come in the living room and was like, I'm gonna lay on the living room floor. And I'm like, okay, then lay down, buddy. And then I was waiting for him to pass out and shit. And then he climbs up on the bed, couch, and goes, no, I'm gonna lay with you, Daddy. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so I try to adjust it and everything for him. And then
And
I'm out before they are. Like, I'm passed out before they fucking are. And I'm just like, I wake up at 5 in the morning. I'm like, did I? Fuck. And they're gone. They're not even in the room. They're fucking gone. They fucking bailed. And I'm just like,
Aha, I
Oh,
made
so-
Dad fall asleep. Now I'm going to my
like
bed.
those little shits. So I go to the bed and I get like my 1 foot of bed because they took up the other part of it. Because they, instead of them going to their actual beds like they're supposed to,
They just climbed in with Mom.
yeah, they did. That's what they did.
Haha, I made Dad fall asleep on the couch. I had
Yeah.
room in his comfy bed.
Yep.
Aha.
So I had to like,
Fucker.
I have to like every night, just about every night that they do that, I have to be like, shove, okay, move over there, okay, lay down. It's kind of fucked up.
The funny part, I think, about our background, though, is
Yeah.
I'm more the anime person, but yet it's on your side, and you're more the comic book person. but
That's
on
me.
my
Yeah.
side.
It was funny. Is
I thought that was hilarious.
completely flipped in reality because I'm more like Marvel and you're more like anime.
Oh, yeah, completely.
I totally did
I
that
mean,
wrong.
Look at this shirt. He's on the wrong side.
Yep. Oh yeah, he's all
I
dressed.
thought that was hilarious as shit, how that ended up, how the picture ended up. I'm like, yeah. Well, apparently Vegeta is clearly a traitor. Now, fuck you, I'm gonna do it my way, bitch. I'm on this side.
Yep.
Why?
'Cause
They
if I
got
move my
bitches who
head,
look like balls.
you'll see like more people and shit. And
Well,
move
the
my
one
chair,
guy
you'll see
behind
more
the
people.
chair is the freaking Goku. That's why I think it's funny that Vegeta's on my shirt on this side of the
Yep.
background we have on the recording.
Mhm.
That's gonna go on YouTube. That's priceless.
Exactly. But yeah, like, so as far as Wanda Vision goes,
Oh, I'm enjoying it.
I am enjoying it too. And like I'm enjoying see, that's the thing about me, is I will constructively analyze or constructively criticize an episode or TV show or whatnot, and yet I can be completely involved and be completely like present and like enjoying the
The one
shit out of
time
it,
you've
and
done
then
it right
post
after
thoughts
the
I'm just
movie
like,
was
okay.
The only time Teresa thinks, bitch, God damn it, you overanalyzed it.
Oh,
Fucked up the movie for
Iron
me
Man-
for Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 3.
But me and you were both agreeing on it. That's why, like, she's like, shut up, Tim.
Yeah.
You're feeding the fire.
Yeah.
But he's got a good point. Mandarin was a complete asshole because he's not supposed to be some stupid fucking actor. He's supposed to be motherfucking with rank. And the other asshole saying, no, I'm the Mandarin and took the fucking drug to make him superhuman. No, y'all fucked up the Mandarin, you assholes. We agreed on that. She's like,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up, you two. No, it's complete bullshit.
I was like going on about how the
You're
first
ruining the
third of
movie.
the movie
No, we like the movie.
builds up
But
tension.
it's bullshit because it didn't go where the damn comic books or the TV show went.
Yeah, like the first third of the movie builds up both sorts of tension. Second act plays out, and then at that third act moment where they reveal everything, you're just like, God fucking damn it, they fucked it up.
Yeah, we both are like, no, we were both agreeing with it. She's like, you're an asshole, Tim. Because you agree with him, he just kept talking about that. But it was true. Shut up right after the movie. I'm enjoying it still.
And fucking
Fucked
Catherine.
it all up.
Catherine just wanted me to fucking laugh it all up and not even ask questions or anything. She's like, I'm never watching a movie with you again. And I'm like, okay, whatever. It's like, fuck it.
I thought it was funny that you were analyzing it. Me and you were going back and forth, and everybody else was like, "You fucking assholes."
Yeah, and I've gotten better at it. Like, I watched Last Jedi without constructively criticizing it at all until after the movie was over. Like after the credits rolled, that's when I sat there and my dad's like, "So what'd you think of it?" And I'm like, "You really want me to say what I think?" And he's like, "Yeah, kinda." And I'm like, in front of Lacey and everybody, like I don't want to fuck it up for them. And he's like, "No, the movie's over." And I'm like,
But see,
I don't like the way they did some of
that,
it.
but see, that works though. It's like, okay, the movie's over. Let's discuss it. Wait, we need a video camera upstairs. now that we have this part where this has become the studio area, but
I just realized in future podcasts for Crazy P's, we can watch the entire new trilogy for Star Wars, and then we could review each episode on each one of the episodes. Be like, episode 12 and 13. Yeah. Be
Okay.
like, episode 7 review, episode 8 review, episode 9
I'm
review.
down.
And like do that, or
Because let's see, I was born in '83. That's when the first or second one came out.
third Return of the Jedi.
Was it the third one?
Because 77 was Star Wars, and then they
That's
changed
right.
it to episode 4, and then
But
80
in
was
80,
Empire, and then 83 was Return.
in '88, the first one came out.
I wasn't even born then. Yeah, I know that.
And well, no, the only reason I remember because I was 5 and we had crap TV. It came out on one of the
A lot of background research.
basic
Nerdy dad.
TV. It came out on Fox.
Yeah.
Just on I think it was a Friday night or a Saturday. You know when they did the movies. Okay, kids are home, families are sitting at home. Let's do a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And it was NBC, ABC, or Fox.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't CBS. Because at that time they weren't doing movies. They were doing, I think it was football on Fridays.
Okay.
In '88.
All I have to do is say okay because I wasn't born then.
Well, I'm just trying to remember because NBC and ABC have always been big, but I mean ABC's always been Disney's bitch. Shut up, do what you're told. Fox has been fuck you, Disney. I'm doing it my way. But I mean it's one of those 3 networks because the ones I watched was NBC, ABC, and Fox.
Yeah.
Did A New Hope, but it was just Star Wars before they decided to put New Hope as the name. And that's how I grew up with it.
Yeah.
Starting then. And then when 1 came out when I was in my teen years, I'm like, okay, cool. So we're getting some background story. Okay, well this explains this. Okay, Yoda looks kind of the same, but not as wrinkly, not as half dead.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this and that. And watching them. Because I started out with the original 3 when I was a little shit. And then getting the prequels when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And then now being an adult and a dad and watching the last 3, it's like, okay, I see where they could have adjusted a little. Because I know you guys went off where the original movie was supposed to be. Or the original episode movie, whatever, was supposed to go, because even the creators like, motherfucker, they changed that shit, bunch of assholes.
The special editions of the original 3.
Not that. George
Lucas
made a bitch about the last 3 movies, 7, 8, and 9.
Oh, yeah.
When 7 came out, he made a complaint, that's not how the fuck I had it written, they changed it, fucking assholes. And then he made the same complaint because they changed 7, they fucked up 8. Like, everybody agrees they fucked up 8. And 9 was, it depends on your viewpoint.
Yeah, 9 was a
Because
lot.
I can look at it from, okay, I'm watching a Star Wars movie, just absorb it. Or I can watch it from I'm going to criticize the shit out of this because they fucked up completely and shouldn't have gone that way in this scene, and this scene.
Yeah.
I can do it from both point of views because I grew up with Star Wars. That's easy for me.
See, I was born 91, so for me, like, my dad is a Star Wars freak. Like, everything Star Wars, everywhere.
And we've talked about that a few times, yeah.
Every day, all day. And, like, I try to talk to him about anything to do with the universe, the world, or politics, or whatever, and he usually hangs up the phone. Or, if I talk about Star Wars or Marvel, he'll be engaged, and he'll talk and stuff. But if I talk about anything else, usually he's like, I gotta go to bed, Thomas, or, oh, I've gotta go, or I got stuff to do, or, something like that. So, 91, I was born. 95, 96, they re-released them in theaters. Dad took us up as a family trip up north to Utah to visit relatives and shit, and they re-released them in the theater. So every day that we were here in Utah, on those years, we went to go see A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi in the theater. So
Nice.
young me, like 4 or 5 year old me, remember seeing them in the theater after I watched them on VHS. So I, being the little 4 or 5 year old, and thoroughly confused and realizing that these movies came out in 77, 80, and 83, and wondering how the fuck I saw them in the theater, and then someone reminded me, they're like, oh, they re-released them in theaters, and I was like, oh, shit. So I saw them then. My dad was 12 when he watched Empire, and then he was like 16 when he watched Return, 15, 16. And he was obviously way younger than that when he watched, A New Hope. I was 9 when we watched Phantom Menace. Then I was 12 when Attack of the Clones came out. And then I was 16, 17 when Revenge of the Sith came out. And so each one of us, Tim, me, and my dad, all throughout the generations, on those specific years, those specific ages, have seen the movies that come out. That's how
That's
interesting
funny.
Star Wars is as a life brand. And now I'm in my 20s, so
Almost in
I
your
think it was
30.
25, 24 when because they released them like year or two between each two. But like
Yeah.
I was 24, 25 when Force Awakens came out. Then I was 27 when it was either 26 or 27 when Last Jedi came out. And then it was
They
this
could've done
last
that a little bit
year.
better.
It was this last year when I watched Rise of Skywalker, 2019. When I watched Rise of Skywalker in the theater with my dad and everybody, like it was Lacey's family, his family, together with Jose. And I was wearing my mom's. No, I wasn't wearing my mom's ashes. My brother was wearing her ashes. So she was essentially in their theater with us, and we watched it. And not only was it an end of an era, of our life and our the way Star Wars was for the theater, because now every single movie in the theater is going to be like a annual whatever, like Rogue One or whatever. It's not going to be episode 9 and episode 10 or anything like that.
It's gonna be all the in between stories.
Yeah, it's going to be all the other
they've been
stories.
talking
So those stories are going to be playing. So when we watching episode 9 in the theater was super magical experience for me, not because the movie was magical. It was because the fact of everything behind it. Now, that being said, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I feel like they should have split it and made it episode 10. But I'll cover that later. But
no.
basically,
See. I hear your comment,
mhm,
but I've also heard this comment from other people, but they say it differently.
of course.
Shrink down 8.
Uh-huh.
Cut where 9 could have been made into 2 movies.
Yeah.
Scooch it over to make actual episode 8 an actually decent fucking episode, and then expand and add a little stuff that they didn't show. Let me go over here for the camera. Add in stuff they didn't show for episode 9, so that way you can see it, so that way you get more of the what they don't show, what they don't talk about, that they've put in the books.
Also, have it to where...
Just what I've heard from some of the people I'm
Have it
watching.
to
Something
where-
I've had an idea on.
adding on to your thought process there. Adding on to your
Okay.
thought process, because I can see that, spectrum.
Okay.
So, in that frame of mind,
In that frame of mind, okay.
Rey and Kylo are being introduced to the story. Finn is a stormtrooper. All these other things are going on in this movies, right? So, 7. Instead of us thrown 35 years in the future of Return of the Jedi, especially since a lot of us grew up on Return of the Jedi, that's what we know. We know Luke went against the Emperor, defeated him in battle. His dad came back and joined him and everything. And so Luke went from and tossed his lightsaber off to the side and was like, no, I won't give in to the hatred. I am a Jedi like my father before me. That Luke Skywalker exists in Return of the Jedi. And then in Force Awakens, we literally get like a minute-long segment in which Rey's trying to hand the lightsaber. He's looking at her and like super regret, remorse, everything's playing on his face, and he's just like, and so she's trying to handle the lightsaber though. And like they're literally like whole minute is stretched out, a stretched out moment in which Rey's trying to handle the lightsaber. He's staring at her and staring at the lightsaber, and then they go credits. And I'm like going,
But see, there's also been another idea on how they could have done it.
no, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay. Keep going.
So
I still have
with
another
that
idea
frame
to
in
throw
mind,
at you.
with that frame in mind, instead of exploring all the Kylo stuff and exploring all that stuff in 8, explore a lot of it in 7. Show that as part of Kylo's inner battle. Show it as part of not just him talking to Darth Vader and then them revealing in 9 that it was the Emperor all along. Instead, show him talking to Darth Vader, but then also show flashbacks of Kylo turning the dark side, of Kylo having arguments with his father, or showing the divide between Han and Leia. Show a lot of that stuff. Have flashback scenes where Luke, Han, and Leia are together in one movie. And then show a lot of that stuff, because we're just sort of thrown into this, future story expecting to care about these new heroes, and yet they don't really give us much to care about them. They just sort of are just going on an adventure, and we're just sort of supposed to just go with it. The only time I really cared about Finn and the pilot guy, what's his face?
Okay, I know who you're talking about. Don't remember
that moment at the beginning of the movie where he's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "My name's FN," and he's like, "No, what's your name?" Poe Dameron. That's right. Poe Dameron's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "FN something something." He's like, "I'm gonna call you Finn." And he's like, "Okay, awesome. Did we just become friends?" And like that whole part of that movie, the beginning, was the part where I truly cared about them. But then after that, the rest of the movie, I was just like going, I'm watching Han and I'm watching Rey talk to each other and interact with each other, and I care about that. But everything else in the movie is really happening at such a rapid pace that I don't really get time to care about anybody just yet. And whereas The New Hope, they gave you time to care about each respective character, and they were like legacy moments. And with 7, it was like missed so much of that stupid mystery box of J.J. Abrams with the damn mystery box that he was trying to give you little nuggets here and there and make you ask questions, but at the same time, you're not really asking questions. You're just like, what the fuck's going on right now? And then, like, when you get to The Last Jedi, you're waiting for all those questions to get answered, and they don't even answer them. They're just like, by the way, you know how Luke was originally idealistic? Well, now he's an edgelord. And you're just like going, okay, so why don't you just show me some of the shit that happened with Leia? Why is Han and Leia interacting in 7, and they're like, there is obviously not a marriage there. There's obviously like a divorce or a separation that happened, and they sort of sent Kylo off to go with Luke, and somehow he turned evil and bad, and there's no real explanation as to why that happened, and I'm just like going, and then in 8, they're just like,
actually,
and then 8, Luke Skywalker tries to kill him, and then doesn't, and it has like a moment of like, oh, I was gonna kill him, but then he turned the dark side.
I realized
like,
that I shouldn't.
and I'm just like, his grandfather, Anakin, would never have done that with Obi-Wan. He would have been like, oh, you were going to stab me. And he would have been, stab me, master. And he would have been like, well, he's like, I had a moment's hesitation. And then they would have a lightsaber duel, and then they would have called it amends. Like, Anakin wouldn't have gone off and, granted, he killed younglings, but he had an entire trilogy of growth in which you got to see him fall to the dark side. Whereas Kylo just sort of snaps.
But that's also the other way you could do the movie. Keep 9 the way it is. Take 8, shrink it with the whole hand and the lightsaber.
Yeah.
Put it at the end. Basically expand. Where are we at? 7.
Yeah.
To like shrink some of the spots where they had over drawn out scenes.
Yeah.
Make that episode 8. And take all the stuff you want to know about Luke starting the school and what happened with Kylo.
Yeah.
Which is also why Leia and Han separated. And that's episode 7.
So basically, you're wanting us to just rewrite the entire fucking trilogy because it's poorly made and poorly plotted.
Well, I'm telling you, the stuff I've heard from other people and what a few of the people in the community's thoughts are. It's either do it like I said it the first time, or instead of waiting the so many years between 6 and 7, cut it back a hair. See Luke and Leia have the kid, and then skip a couple years, or show that they give Kylo or Ben to Luke, and then skip a few years, and then they find, or
So, like,
you hear
bunch of
some of
time
this stuff in
skips.
their head, like Kylo hearing the Emperor as, I can't remember the character's name, brain fart, Jackass.
Snoke.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Jackass, but
Palpatine's
Snoke.
puppet. Palpatine's puppet. His little
Yeah.
fuck puppet.
And how Luke was seeing it, and from Kylo's point of view, and then like skip a couple years because after the cut scene where they show him and the temple's burning or whatever,
Yeah.
skip a couple years or however many years, and then you jump straight into them finding the girl and the whole Finn and Poe Dameron thing.
Yeah.
And that could be like movie 1 and then cut it off at a certain point, and then episode 8 a little bit before they find the map, and episode 8 starts where they got the maps together, and then the whole journey to find Luke and da 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 da. Because the thing I agree with everybody on that they fucked up on 8 really big was the whole when Yoda disappeared and Obi-Wan went to the Force, their clothes stayed there.
Yeah.
But if their clothes stay there, then by that thought process, the way it's supposed to work when you become one with the Force, then Luke would no longer need, and what would disappear would be his robot parts.
Yeah.
That arm that was robotic should have dropped with his clothes.
That is true. I noticed
I've
that.
had so many. I've heard so many people say that's bullshit, bitch.
Yeah, the arm didn't even drop. That was the
no. I've heard enough people complain about that. I'm like, no, I agree with you there.
Yeah,
that's
Johnson
bullshit.
Was a fucking idiot when he did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, everybody agrees on that. You're dumbass. You should have dropped the robotic arm, you dipshit.
Yeah, and what I don't understand is all this big fucking shitstorms of the whole drama of the Rian Johnson people who utterly defend 8, and then the other people who are like, we absolutely hate 8. And I'm like, dude, it was obviously, it was like, all he was trying to do was something different with Star Wars. He obviously didn't know all the notes or the plot notes. It was obviously...
Or he didn't pay attention to the fucking notes that people wrote and told him, you need to do it this way, don't forget to add
yeah,
this.
like he... Okay.
And he just skipped and cut shit out he shouldn't have fucking cut out.
And it's like he's that kid who is working on a school project with all these other kids, and fucking he forgot his notes and didn't fucking bother to bring the notebook, and then decided to do this little presentation on this thing, on this project, and then decided to just go his own way, and everyone in the class likes that version, and then everybody else doesn't like the version because he obviously didn't plan anything, and now they're utterly, fighting each other on which one they like most.
Well, that's like the whole bullshit Donald Trump did. Republicans versus Democrats. No, motherfuckers. It's not red versus blue. It's everybody together. Fuck the shit. We will all never agree. I mean, but you get it that on 90% of the movies, 90% of the show. Half of us hate it. Half of us like it. How about we all just take the neutral? Okay, this is what I liked. This is what I disliked. But for a whole, it was a decent movie or a decent TV show or a decent episode.
Yeah, and seeing that's
instead of cutting it into itty bitty little pieces and I hate it or I like it. No. What did you hate?
Yeah,
I hate these specific parts. Okay, you have a valid point with that. What did you like with it though? I like these specific points. Okay, what did you hate? And basically, the people who like it still don't like the same shit that the people who are bitching and cussing about the parts they hate.
And I watched
90% of the time.
I watched episode.
But I love it because it's Star Wars.
And I watched episode 8 back to back in the hospital when I was in the hospital this last year.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah, I remember that.
I watched them both back to back, and I, for once, actually liked Last Jedi, and I liked Force Awakens for the most part. Like I liked. Okay, so I saw what they were doing, and I saw, the big picture of what they were doing, and I understood what they were going with, and I could appreciate what I saw.
Okay.
But at the same time, we've already talked, been talking quite a bit about what we would do differently with a story. But at the same time, you know, with the original storyteller,
Everybody does it differently. Though.
yeah, at the end of the day, with the storyteller, I'm watching the movie and I'm like, okay, this is what I would do differently. But at the same time, I can enjoy and understand what they were doing with the story originally and what they were trying to do. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, I could understand. I honestly, I was watching 7 and I was watching 8 and I was like, okay, so with, you know, with him watching the school burn down and then Kylo going evil and stuff like that, I can see how an idealistic Luke Skywalker who has relatively no training with how to train someone and how to, you know, teach people things, and then having his
trying to do it
and his borderline, you know, psycho grandson who has a redemption arc. Yeah, nephew.
That's good.
Borderline psycho, you know, nephew who can flip the switch when the minute someone you know, decides they're going to turn a lightsaber on him. You know, I can see how that would cause Luke Skywalker to feel regret and feel, you know, cause him to go down a downward spiral of depression, especially since his own father was like that. His own father had those moments, and his own father would freak out because Obi-Wan would always berate him and always hold him back, and then he would relish killing Tusken Raiders, and then later on would kill younglings just to save his own wife, save, you know, Luke's mother.
Or so he thought.
Yeah, or so he thought. And so it's just like, when I was watching at 8, I was like, okay, I was watching it in the prism of like, you know, Luke's dad went off the deep end over small triggers and went off the deep end given the scenario he was in. So that being said, in that scope and that prism, I was like, you know, I'm only commenting on this because the fact that I know how to teach people, I know how to mentor, and I know how to, you know, steer people the right direction. Lucas had no training with that. Lucas had no training with how to train someone, how to teach someone. So therefore, he would also not know how to guide and teach his own nephew, who's kind of borderline psycho and who's being groomed by the dark side and who's having the Emperor apparently whisper in his ear. You know, we're led to believe it's Snoke, but it's really the Emperor. And so he's, you know, he doesn't realize, you know, he wouldn't know how to handle that. And so that's something that's hard to handle, watching your school get burned down, this entire vision that you're having burned down. Like, you, of course, you would go a little edgy and you would kind of get depressed and angsty and bitchy about it. I mean, your own father is like that. So, you know, it made sense.
Well,
like, I was like, okay,
I thought it was funny how when Rey went to him on the island, he's like, yeah, well, everybody just wants the Luke from Legends.
Yeah.
Shooting the lightning to destroy a Star Destroyer and all the stuff he did when he didn't have what I would consider full control over the Force yet himself.
Yeah.
He just did it, and oh shit, I did that a little too hard. Well, at least the bad guy's dead. Fuck it.
Yeah.
But that's what made him sort of the god. We need Luke. We need the Jedi guy to help us.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you gotta do it for your damn self sometimes, stupid.
Well, and with the Mandalorian, with him taking Grogu and gonna go teach Grogu and shit, like, I was like, okay, cool. So that's his first student, or that could be one of his first students, like, wondering, you know, if he's already got the Jedi Academy started, or if that's his first student. And
I wonder if they're gonna bring that up.
And I'm just, yeah, that is true. Like, I'm waiting to see if they bring that up in the future Mandalorians. They might not even touch it. They might even just be like, this is our corner. This is our corner Mandalorian that we touched, and then we're gonna do over here. Like, we're gonna touch this toy later.
Well, that's where I think the Boba Fett
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, but I think they'll also slightly tap into the Grogu or find a way to do it without actually having Luke there, because you could tell it was completely, you know, edited somebody else and they edited his face in.
Yeah.
But it's the thing of how would they do that? And it's the new book of the Jedi Order. Kind of like they sold the blue book and the Sith book.
Yeah.
I have both those at home. I've read those like twice. I like them. Well, no, because I always thought it was funny that, well, you're supposed to be the chosen one. And it's like, his father was supposed to be the chosen one. Yeah, you're supposed to bring balance to the Force. Who says balance says kill all the dark side or kill all the light side? Let's go back to the original. 50% of each. Use a little bit of light, a little bit of dark, but you don't kill everybody. Because, one, you shouldn't kill everybody just because you want to. And two, you still gotta have your justice system to determine on who dies and who doesn't.
Yeah.
That was always my thought with Star Wars. It's like, no, we don't need the light sides, the rulers, the light sides in charge, kill the bad guys. No, we need the 50-50. I like red lightsaber, so I'm gonna be red lightsaber, but I'm gonna be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Sort of mentality. Or Mace Windu. A little bit of dark, a little bit of light, got purple, bitch. I mean, I don't like the purple. For me, it'd be, no, a little bit of light, a little bit of dark. My favorite color is yellow. Now it's orange, motherfucker. That was my thought, because purple is like, okay, but you're forgetting about orange, bitches. We could use somebody with an orange lightsaber to be the same thing, just from a different point of view.
Did you know they're making another series called Acolyte for Disney Plus?
I've heard that. I haven't got
they're making
details on it.
They're making Ahsoka, they're making Acolyte, they're making a few others, but Acolyte is supposed to be during, you remember the Old Republic?
Which part?
The Old Republic. And
are you talking about like, specifically like the game, or?
Yes.
Never really played the game.
Fuck. I am a massive Old Republic fan. I'm a massive
Knights of the Old Republic fan. Games.
Yeah.
I never really did the games. I did the movies and a little bit of the comic books. I mean, that's always been my thing. It's been something I can watch or something I can, And
KOTOR, you can have an orange lightsaber. In the Old Republic, you can have an orange lightsaber.
That would have been my color.
Yeah, you can change your lightsaber color, and you can do all that.
I've seen that in a few of the videos of those games, and my thing is like, yeah, I don't, purple. Okay, you who like purple, you have your purple. I'm sorry, my original favorite color was yellow.
Do you remember the?
And since I like being slightly dark, we'll go with orange.
Do you remember the episode where Boba Fett shows up? And it's season 2.
What about it?
And they go to Tython.
You're gonna. Okay,
where Mando takes him to Tython so that Baby Yoda or Grogu can sit on that rock and do a little Force thing and call the Jedi. What leads to Luke Skywalker showing up?
Yeah.
That was on Tython. And Tython
is supposed to be the original planet. Isn't it?
It's the first ever planet that you go to in the Old Republic, the MMORPG. It is the first planet, and it's filled with Jedi. It's filled with masters. It's all these little temples and shit. Like, it is when I was watching, I had my gummy worms. I had all this shit. I was decked. I was decked out, and fucking. I turned on the Mandalorian on Amber turned on Disney Plus, and then we were gonna watch that episode, and we watched the previous episode first because she hadn't been caught up all the way. Then we were in the episode, and I'm sitting like this, and I'm like, and she's like, "You okay, babe? Like, I know you're excited, but what the fuck?" And I'm like, "This episode's gonna have Tython," and she's like, "Tython?" I'm like, "Do you remember the Old Republic?" And she's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, and so like she turns it on. And we're watching it, and I'm cautiously waiting, right? Because I'm like, they're gonna fuck this up. And then like 10 minutes in, 10 minutes.
That's your thought.
10 minutes in, like I always assume that shit. Like I always am like, they're gonna fuck this shit up. But like 10 minutes in, I'm just like going, I'm like this, I'm like, waited with bated breath as I'm like riveted. And then suddenly like they get to 20 minutes, and then Boba Fett's doing his shit, and they're like walking around Tython, and they're doing like the scenery shots, and they're doing the rock, and I was like, I was there. And then like, and then it's just like, wait, you were there? And I'm like, yeah, it was that rock and the thing and the temple and that's that thing and that's that. And I'm like trying not to fucking gangasm, but I'm just like going, I'm like the whole time, like over halfway to the episode when Boba Fett's doing his thing, when he's swinging the thing, and then he hits the armor on, and he does like the rocket launcher thing, and he does like the wrist lock. He's like, and he leans over and. And I was like, "What? That's a Terrence Cossi move." And then I was like watching this, and she's like, "Terrence Cossi move." I'm like, "A game that I played when I was 5." And then like I was there and watching it, and I'm like, and like I'm just like, yeah, I was explode my head. If it was Big Mouth, my head would want. But like I was like watching this, and I'm like, and like we got to the end of the episode, and I'm just like going. It was like I was like. And after I exploded, like the third time, it was like Disney went like that. I was talking about before. It was like Disney was like, "I'm not finished yet," and I was like, "Again." Oh. Yeah, like that. Just like that. Yeah, I love. If you haven't noticed, we haven't talked about Mandalorian yet, but one of my favorite shows right now with Disney. It is now officially my favorite Star Wars thing, aside from the obvious other stuff. While I can go on and on about constructive criticisms about the movies and shit like that, Mandalorian. When that initial score kicks in, it's like, I'm just all like, that fucking tribal score kicks in, and I'm just like, yeah. And then when Moff Gideon's on screen though, and he just eats scenery, he just chews the scenery, and he's like, assume I know everything. I am the Moff, and I'm just like going, yeah, you are. The fucking the actor who plays him though, he says fucking kills it. He's on the Boys, by the way. On the Boys, there's a character he plays on the Boys. It's very much like the Moff. And he like
nice.
he sits with his fingers like this, and he's just like, and how do you suppose we do that? And then they're like,
But see, that's like, the actor though. That's like, oh no, we got the perfect person for that role to do that.
You remember Breaking Bad? You remember Breaking Bad?
I didn't really watch Breaking Bad
he
when it
plays came out. There's a restaurant that plays as a front for drug business.
Oh, I know what. Yeah, I know.
That break the lead guy. My brain is not remembering his name, but Walter White's alter ego deals with him, and he plays the restaurant owner, the one who's doing the front of the business. So when I watched,
he's like okay, that makes me think he's the mafia guy.
Heisenberg. I just remembered the name of his alter ego. Heisenberg.
But it makes me think of mafia. Okay, and we're doing what now? With who? For how much money?
Yes.
We're killing who? Or it's like, here, go catch this person or kill him. When you're done, make sure you bring him back so that way we can cash in the money. Oh, here's your prepayment.
People are going to be like, they're going to watch this episode. They're going to get to about like 10 minutes ago. They're going to be like, dude, they're going to see him explode over Mandalorian. They're going to be like, this is the most lit up I've seen him on the last 10 episodes. They were like, oh my god, you should talk about Mandalorian more often.
Shh. Don't ruin episode 12 and 13. Oops, I just gave
that
it away.
Episode, the monitor will be covered in white, and I'll just be like, oh, and then like, it'll be like,
you'll have to
or you like, we talk about Mandalorian, or are you just jerking off right now? I'll be like, I don't know. I'm sorry, Jesus. Cody Clerks 2. If you've seen it. Tim's over here just like, what the fuck did I get brought in this for?
I'm just having fun. Should be a complete goofball. It's nice.
Don't want to take it back. Oh yeah, it's 2:24. You said that I was gonna read something.
Well, we've done gone past that. You'll read 2 chapters at the beginning next week. So, I will make sure I keep that one on. No, you gotta read 2 episodes. Alright, yeah, this is CrazyP's. Yeah, read your book. Don't make it read 2 chapters.
You don't
Is the volume not all the way off? I swear it's left.
I don't want to put it up because then you'll get it.
No, I said off.
Oh, it's not off. Not off.
Okay. Well, no, because I keep hearing a slap on your phone. That's why I'm like, that sounds like a mini person laughing. Oh, wait. Wait. When did you let in the leprechauns and the gnomes?
You didn't know that? You didn't notice this entire time? I'm doing great. I did my own snap. This is post snap.
I can't snap my fingers anymore. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, I remember that.
When I
teasing
realized
about
I
that.
lost that ability with
Yeah.
my hands, I was like,
I was teasing you about that one day when I was like, all that
Oh,
typing,
yeah.
all that typing, and I got like 5 words out of you. Because you're like typing for a good 10 minutes. I was like, just typing, and I'm like going, has he actually got a lot to say this time? And then like 5 words appear, and I'm like, that was it. Okay. I was like,
I always
then I
type
wrote back. I'm like, all that typing for like one little sentence.
Shut the fuck up.
I don't even know if you remember that.
I remember.
It was pretty funny for me.
Well, no, I mean, everybody's like, you type slow. Yes, I do. I never said I type fast.
Dude, he
I
never
admit
talks.
that.
Like in any of the Among Us games we've ever played with other people and stuff, he usually is
I
always
don't
silent.
type. No, it's just.
and so they
let's
always,
just have
like-
a freaking talk.
So they assume that he's the imposter because he never says anything.
No, I just sit back and I'm like,
He's been voted out so many times for being the imposter. It's not even funny, and they're just like,
And
wait, he
half
wasn't the imposter.
90% of the time, I'm not the imposter.
Yeah, and they're just like, wait, he wasn't the imposter, and then around he is the imposter. Fucking, he's the first. He gets.
No, when I am
kills
the
off like
imposter
3
because
people
they've
and then
already
finally
voted me
gets
out for 2 to 3 games before that because I don't talk a lot. It's just like, I'll just wait it out because I'm the imposter and they'll never know.
Yep.
And they don't vote me out and then I kill everybody.
Yep, and he kills everybody. Though there was one time where like he wasn't the wasn't the imposter for like 3 games, and then he finally was the imposter, and then he kills someone right in front of someone else, and then out of nowhere they're like, "Wait, you were the imposter? What the fuck? We saw you kill someone." And he's like, "I dropped my knife."
Yeah, because nobody was there. I stabbed. I went to jump in the vent and people like literally showed up right as soon.
So I remember
Shit.
forget when Nico was playing with us. Fucking that one night, Nico got people to believe that it was someone else, and then that person's body was laying up on the ceiling for some reason because the game glitched.
Yeah, I
And
remember that.
Then they were like, "Holy shit! How did you do that? That was genius move." And then Nico's like, "Wait, what? I didn't do anything." And then they're like, "Dude, I saw you do that with the body." He's like, "Oh shit, my knife slipped." And then they killed someone else, and then because they didn't vote Nico out because they were so focused on the other person, Nico managed to convince them not to kill them, and then finally in the last round, they finally voted Nico out as the imposter, but the other person already killed everybody, so they still won the game. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like, that's fucked up. And Nico's like, no, it's not. It's ingenious.
Oh, I have, with me messing with my computer with my father-in-law yesterday, he's like, no, just don't disconnect the power cord. Because apparently, because I've been bringing it over for like the last month on Fridays.
Yeah.
Except for the last couple of weeks. That's what fucked up my damn power supply. Cause when we were messing with my computer, I said, I don't want to work for you.
Oof.
Yeah, but we found a spare power supply in one of the computers we were going through, which was crap, but the power supply was good, so we just moved it to my computer.
Yeah.
So I'm good to run now. So this Friday, I expect us to play games because I'm not running down to visit my father-in-law this Friday. Next Friday, though, I am going to go visit him again. I figured we'd spend the whole day, and like I said, I'm going to launch him a way to freaking build his computer or buy him a new laptop.
Yeah, this Friday, Omega comes out from Epica, so we should totally play like a game and shit.
Which one comes out?
Omega by Epica, one of my favorite bands of all time now. Because Disturbed has always been one of my favorite bands, you know, growing up and stuff. But recently, Omega or Epica has quickly not necessarily dethroned them, but they've become another one of my favorite bands of all time. Yeah, and so Nightwish, Epica, and Disturbed are like 3 of my top favorites. And it used to be Shinedown, Papa Roach, and Disturbed, but now it's the other 2. And Omega's coming out, and I've kind of listened to a leak already, and it's amazing. So when that comes out, I'll finally be able to be open with a lot of people about it, and I'm also going to drop a review on YouTube about it.
So because it's brand new, and we might not get copyright strict with it, we can play it in the background real low on your phone in the background while we're playing the game and recording it. Like,
maybe.
we're gonna put it on YouTube.
Maybe. I don't know if we'd get away with that. We probably might have to
Only
speed
one
the
way to
video up.
find out.
We're have to speed the video up by like 0.5, where like people barely notice the speed up. That way it isn't noticeable.
Oh, it'd be like playing the music on like your phone or have Amber's phone here and like turn it down to the one volume right below, so that way we can hear what we're playing,
Yeah.
but nobody else can hear it.
Would that be so
And then we
interesting
can
and
just
surreal,
talk
though?
about it. Hey, that was a good song.
Dude, the Skeleton Key is such, like, the third song on the album is such a horror track
Okay.
that it would work for, like, Phasmophobia. Because,
Okay.
like, it'd be
So you want to play Fast this Friday?
Yeah, like, if you were playing
Okay.
Phasmophobia, you would have, like, it would be such a great horror track to play in the background, and, like, over half that album is, like, a horror album. But, like,
Well, like I said, then we just hit play. We play
But,
until
like,
the album's done. There you go.
I-
That'll be an hour at least of recording, and
yeah.
I can try to stream through my computer on Twitch, and they'll see what it looks like when I do it on my computer.
Yeah, so that or we could play Terraria, because I know Nephi wanted to play Terraria.
You know what? He just got his daughter,
Yeah.
our niece, so he's probably not going to be playing for the next couple of weeks. So it's me and you goofing off, do whatever the fuck we want.
Okay.
At least that's what I have planned. Because he's got the next 2 weeks off. He's taking his 1 week vacation and then his 1 week paid time off that he's earned.
Yeah.
For the next 2 weeks. That's what he's taking for his paternity leave.
Okay.
Because I talked with him about that before I took him down to Nephi on Thursday.
Yeah.
And no offense to my wife, she had a big, no, you're going to kill our car doing that. Alright, fine. I've come to the decision, I threw it at my father-in-law. What's your opinion if I buy another car? He's like, whatever, you do what you gotta do. I'm like, good.
Yeah.
So he's like, do whatever you gotta do, dude. I'm sorry. He's the one person I can count on in my married family that will back me no matter what the fuck, where the fuck, or when the fuck.
Yeah.
I don't even call him my father-in-law. He's just dad. Russell's Russell because I became a Mason. I had to start calling him by his name when I went to lodge with him, which pissed him off, but sorry, that's what the hell happened. And then you stopped being a dad, you started being a dick at the time. Now you're starting to come back to being a dad, so that's fine. But I always call Teresa's dad, Dad.
Yeah.
Because he's always treated me like his son. He's even said, I don't consider you a son-in-law. You're my son. I mean, that's the reason I like the guy. For one, he's the only in-law I've ever had that instantly just absorbed me into the family.
Okay.
I'm the one in-law, if me and Teresa, if anything ever happened between me and her, because he told me this, you will still be family.
Yeah.
You come around, hang out whenever the fuck you want. No matter what.
Yeah.
So,
I don't even imagine what would happen if Amber and I were to ever split. Like, I can't even imagine that.
dude, if y'all split it, say, motherfucker, whatever, we're getting a damn bachelor pad so that way we can still do our podcast, motherfucker. Bitch, we gonna take care of this shit.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine ever splitting with that lady, because, like...
You can go ape shit nuts, motherfucker.
I would. Like, she's, like, as much as I've expressed frustrations, and as much, you know, quote-unquote shit or smack-talking I was doing at the beginning, like, she's my world. Like, like, I orbit around that woman, and I orbit around her, and do everything I can. Like, everything I do, like, all of my motivations, all of my stuff, inspiration, comes from her. It comes. But, like, it orbits her, like,
But see,
she's the center.
that's why it works. She's the center, so she pisses you off and makes you happy all at the same time. But see, that's the proper center of your universe. That's how it should work.
Yeah. And so it's like, as much as smack talk and stuff, you know, okay, I went through, there's a poem, there's like a document on my Google Docs, because like I have like the books and stuff, but like there's a document on there, and there's like over 60 poems on there now, because I read a lot of poetry, like especially when I'm like feeling really depressed and down and shit, like I use it as like, instead of going on Facebook like she does, I just go in there and I start writing stuff.
We each do it different.
Yeah.
I zone out, or I just sit there, find a spot, and bitch about everything that's wrong.
Yeah.
Or when I go do my workout or my DoorDash, I cuss about everything. You do it here, or you do it with me on Fridays.
Yeah.
But because I haven't been here the last 2 Fridays, you decided to do it right before we started this and a little bit at the beginning of the episode. It's okay. We got to get our bullshit out one way or another.
There's like 35 poems in that poem book that is straight up me coming about my wife. And not coming, like coming, but like romantically going on
definitely.
about like how she makes me feel and like how we are and everything like that and just how everything is.
Okay, so in 6 months
me
we're gonna publish that book as just your poetry book and get you another book out there that's not part of your stories, and then a year later we'll drop your story, your second book, right?
Essentially.
See,
I actually thought about it.
I plan everything out. It's like, hey, here's the launch. What do you think? Actually, that would fucking work.
What's funny is after I started writing a lot of poetry, though, like, because I wasn't even trying to, like, be, like,
that's not what your original goal was?
or whatever. Like, I was just simply writing poetry just to write poetry, and I sent quite a few of them to Amber, of course, because, you know, I'm just like, I'll write it, and then I want to make her smile and shit. But, like, it's like not Edgar Allan Poe. It's like if Edgar Allan Poe wrote poems that weren't horror. It's like if, you know, they're very poetic and they're very like dancey and there's very exquisite language that's in there. There's like a lot of imagery and there's a lot of soliloquy and things like that. And like I like to write like about dancing of darkness and light, and I like to write about, you know, I often compare, you know, depression to like shadows, and I often, you know, make very visceral languages and stuff like that. And so it's very personal, but it's also universal. Like I've posted a couple of the poems on Facebook and shit. But like one thing I found that was interesting about it was the fact that Amber could literally draw an image that's supposed to signify the poem, and then I could put the poem next to the image, and then we could put it into a book. Like it could work.
Or you could do what is it? Whatever the most dominant color is on the image.
Yeah.
Take it, and they used to be able to do this in Paint. You can't really do it now.
Yeah.
Or at least I haven't found how to do it in the current Paint program. But you use that for the color for the most dominant color in the picture, you invert it.
Yeah.
And make that color the color of your print.
Mm-hmm.
So that way when you put the print on the picture, it'll jump out at you.
Makes sense.
I've seen that, and I've written a couple poems or just written stuff because I'm like, okay, I like this image for what I'm writing because it represents what I'm writing, and then the most dominant color, I'll take it, I'll invert the color, and I'll put that on the script and put the script on top of it in like a Word document or some such or notebook, because I know it's easier to do in Word for that sort of stuff, but I've done that and it makes the letters pop more. And if you can put a shadow on it, because the shadow will make it more forward.
I played around with that type of stuff with the poems because it's basically I screenshot it in Google Docs and it's essentially a picture. And because I'm a photographer and I messed around with that a lot, I threw it in Adobe Lightroom and then I threw it in Adobe Pixlr, in which I played around with the different templates and I would put like a visual image in the background, and then I would play around with it in Lightroom because you don't want to like silver saturate it because then it makes it to where you can read it, but you make it to where the colors and the color schemes match with the words, and so that way when they're reading it, they've got like this visual, kind of like with this podcast, you've got a visual stimulant going on in the background while you have the subject.
YouTube videos,
and so you have like this thing that, you know, you have the subject right there, but then you have the background image which kind of visually stimulates the audience while they're listening to you. Which is part of why I wanted to do that thing in the first place, because you're like, oh, let's just do it raw, and I'm like, I like to raw dog it, but let's add some lubricant to that shit. But like,
well, that's why I told you, okay, I'll let you edit it. We can do that for the YouTube videos, because that doesn't bother me.
There's
as long as nothing happens on Tuesday, I'll be by Tuesday to get last week's episode and this week's episode on the flash drive. Because I moved all of them off since I have a 500 gig sitting in my computer, and I just put it in there. It was only like 83, 84 gigs.
Yeah, something like that.
So it's like small. Plus, like I was saying, I'm going to save up some money because I still have a little bit of upgrading to do on my computer.
Yeah.
And getting a laptop. I actually had a plan. I am just gonna get another terabyte hard drive and put it in my fucking computer. Well, SSD, not hard drive, but yeah, I'm gonna get another terabyte and toss it in there.
I want to get a like I was saying before. I wanted weeks ago. I was saying that I needed to get an 8 terabyte mobile hard drive. That way I could just plug it into the laptop and
Yeah,
move shit over and stuff. But yeah, that card right there on the shelf that you see over there that's off camera.
yeah.
I was trying to write her a regular card, and it turned into a poem anyway.
Yeah, you filled that thing up, motherfucker.
Oh no, I do that. That's the thing. Is I fill up the whole fucking page. Like I just do. It's all over it. But like when it comes to novel writing, like I've found that my prose is turned poetic. Like you'll
Nothing wrong with
like
that.
you'll read the first few chapters and be like, it kind of reads like a story. But then there's gonna be parts like later in the story where that was me after I've learned a lot, and you're gonna get to those parts and be like, oh shit, I see what he's talking about with the prose. Like it's written kind of like a poem. Like I the way I wrote the book is very much like a poem. But like, and the future books will be very much like that. Like the second book is gonna be more psychological horror, and there's gonna be a
That'll
lot
also
more.
be the fun part about people if they when y'all buy the book and read it. The fun part is seeing the evolution of the writer in the books.
Yeah,
Like Stephen King and anybody else that you like. If you read enough of their books, or if they just wrote a series, if you read the whole series from the first book they wrote to the last book they wrote, you'll see the evolution of the brain process of how they think and how they realize they, instead of changing the first book, they're just gonna, excuse me, slightly edit the way they're telling the story in each book.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Stephen King does it in a lot of his books. You can see the evolution of the way he thinks. You can see it in Lucas's books, on the ones he actually wrote. And you can see how his brain process changes also on the books that other people wrote because of the way he said, the way that he's either approved or had them edit it. You can tell where the differences is if you look at it from first written to once he's let come in the series that he's approved. You can tell how he's evolved as a person.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing is Star Wars, for instance, was heavily inspired by World War II and heavily inspired by history, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that they're now bringing into the new movies and the new TV shows where they're literally drawing from his original scripts that he wrote in the early 70s. Like, we're talking 71, 72. Like, the Jedi, not Jedi, but Jedi, they are actually originally from his original story scripts back when Luke Skywalker was called Luke Starkiller. Luke Skywalker Starkiller, and when Darth Vader was not originally Darth Vader, he was originally another character, and they eventually merged Anakin and Darth Vader together because he originally...
That wasn't the original plan.
Yeah, originally Anakin and Darth Vader were not the same person. Originally it was
not supposed
the Dark Lord guy, and then the Dark Lord guy killed his father, and then that became more of a metaphor for the fact that Anakin essentially became a different person. He became Darth Vader.
Yeah, he didn't decide to do that until
he wrote
movie,
Empire Strikes Back.
And they put it in there.
Yeah, till they made Empire Strikes Back, and then he basically forged the two people together. But originally in the first movie,
that wasn't his original plan. No.
Yeah.
He's talked about that in a couple of documentaries and interviews.
Yeah, and that's one of the things.
And in one of his autobiographies, I think he wrote.
Yep. And also one of his first films was called THX 1138, and it's originally, you remember that?
1138 is the original for the Force.
Yep.
I do my research. 1138 is
Yeah, and that's the thing.
What originally made him think of it and gave him the idea for the Force.
Well, what's funny is without Star Wars, I wouldn't have Shadowfang. Because I wouldn't have the book series that I'm working on. Like, I wouldn't have the influence that George Lucas takes on my imagination. Because as a kid, George Lucas was one of my first storytellers growing up.
Think about it this way, though. What are most of the stories just like? What are they all basically they're all stories, but they're
Star
adaptations
Wars.
of.
Well, Star Wars is essentially a space western,
Well, no,
like a fantasy.
that's not what I'm
western.
saying. One of the original stories, which is what all of the stories Star Wars takes part of, and also every story after Star Wars has also taken parts of. Ooh, that's like Star Wars. That's like DBZ was the original anime, and a lot of stuff with the DBZ and Sailor Moon, because those were the original ones that came to America, have taken a lot of stuff from those and adapted them to their stuff. The thing is, it's the King Arthur thing. You are the chosen one.
Well, with that's the thing.
But there's slight adaptations.
Lucas took King Arthur and put that in Star Wars because
Yeah.
when Luke Skywalker does the whole handoff of the baton to Rey, that's essentially what Lucas's plan was with the next three movies.
Well, that's just like
but
Obi-Wan
exactly
passing off the lightsaber to Luke.
Yeah, it's Excalibur.
It's the
Luke Skywalker was
same
the
thing.
whole Star Wars thing was also Excalibur, and so you're right on that. Also, George Lucas was in the same school as Quentin Tarantino, and with there was like two other visionary directors from the 80s and 90s that he was in school with, but he was essentially in school with all these different visionary directors. They were all in the same class, and Spielberg was one of them. Trying to remember, The Hero's Tale was written by fuck. I'm spacing the name, but like he basically championed The Hero's Tale, and George Lucas became his student, the student of this guy. But
well, I mean, that's what King Arthur's is. It's the hero's tale.
Well, yeah, it's you show the villain at the very beginning, which is what they did in the first New Hope. You show the villain at the very beginning, then you show the hero, and you show the hero's family, and you show their family life, and then you flip that upside down, and then you get to the expansion of the world, which is meeting the wizard guy, and he's a farmer, and then you take and you start bringing in the villain of the story, which is Darth Vader, and then you show plan on villain, attack on villain, which is them going to the Death Star base, rescuing the princess, which is Princess Leia, and then the mentor dies, and then after that, from there, that expands the plot even more, because then Luke Skywalker ends up going to the academy where Leia is part of, because the fact that she's an ambassador and she's a princess. And then they go and attack. They do the attack on villain. They do the bottom of the barrel, which is bottom of the barrel moments, kind of like where Luke Skywalker loses his mentor, and they spend that time on the Millennium Falcon with a cowboy, aka Han Solo, talking about his loss and stuff like that. And then by the time you get to the end of the movie, you have Luke facing against his father with the same exact method that Anakin used in the first movie he was in, which is Phantom Menace. So they kind of mirror each other. And have it to where Anakin goes against the Trade Federation, which was the Empire in Phantom Menace, and he blows up the big space station, which depowers all the droids. And in New Hope, he destroys the space station and saves the day, and commits grand terrorism. But that's essentially what A New Hope is. It's his hero's journey, and then he does it again in Empire, and then again in Return. And Empire is more of a personal story because Boy learns that his father is actually evil, and he has to come to terms with the fact that everyone that he believed, all of his friends, Obi-Wan, anyone he knew of Darth Vader, aka Han Solo, all of his friends and stuff, basically finds out everything he learned is a lie, and so he has to confront that, and that's Empire. And then in Return of the Jedi, he comes to terms with that and is still determined to redeem his father and redeem him back to the light, because he still has that dopey optimism. And so that's the hero's journey in a nutshell, is the hero arcing, the hero learning and arcing every time. And so that's kind of like with my story, the Shadowfang story, you're going to experience characters who will go from here to here to here, and they're going to grow and learn. And they're going to change. Like, Vilas is not going to be the same person that he is in the first book as he is in the second. Same with Peter, Virima, Sam, and Orion, and everybody. Like, Orion's going to get more gritty. Sam is going to deal with psychological duress because of her grandmother's psychoticness. Vilas is going to go from wanting to be an absolute free man to understanding that family comes with sacrifice. And then Peter is going to learn about what it's like to be a monarch. and it's going to learn more about what it's like to govern an entire kingdom. He's going to learn about how the world is not black and white, even though he wants it to be. And Virema is going to learn about self-preservation, but she's also going to learn about not being a victim. So there's going to be all these different things that you're going to learn. But that's how I tie it to Star Wars, is the fact that I break down the bare basics of Star Wars and then kind of move with that. Did someone actually join in? Hello!
Yeah, we're almost at the end anyways, though.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you usually bounce around now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's basically what I do a lot with my storytelling, is I break down the bare basics. I go, okay, in this scene it's the cowboy, or in this scene it's the mother and the father or the daughter talking to each other, and I kind of like go into like the bare basics, break down a story, and then I turn around and I want to turn the dial a little bit and figure out the components of the scenes, components of the story, and then want to be like, okay, what if we turn it this way, just to the side, and twist the camera just a little bit, or reposition the camera, and then let's watch it play out and dig the knife in. Dig for the pain, which is why I was telling you in Wanda Vision, I was like, they don't quite go there, even though I want them to. Like, they don't explore Wanda's psychosis of losing her husband, or her boyfriend, lover person. She loses Vision twice, and then after that she gets snapped, and then she also has lost her brother already before, and she's sort of thrown into this conflict, and then has to choose to be an Avenger or not, and so she's sort of thrown into that, and we don't quite get to the point where she's truly breaking it. Like, she's starting to, but like, I feel like they're gonna like go there a little bit and then pull back again. Go there a little bit and pull back again. That's why I was constructively analyzing that and being like,
give them 2 more episodes and they're gonna break her with Magneto. And it's gonna be a complete accident. Wait, I have a father? What the fuck?
And then watch as they rip Magneto away, and then suddenly you've got another trauma.
No, I don't think they're gonna rip him away. I think him being the asshole he truly is is what's gonna break her.
Okay. So you think that
Magneto wants to make it so that way there's not a fight between the humans, the regular humans, and the mutants.
Yeah.
But the only way he sees it, because he grew up during the
Grand Supremacy
Holocaust, is just kill everybody who's trying to kill me, so that way you can't kill me.
Yeah, he wants.
Alright, all you humans are gonna die because fuck you, I'm not fighting another goddamn massacre.
Because he's a supervillain mentality, so therefore, he's a very flawed individual. But at the end of the day, you'd end up choosing the Brotherhood anyway, because you understand Magneto, where he's coming from. You're just like, you understand that he's in a place of massive pain and trauma.
That's where I'm the weirdo. I'd end up being the one in between guy who's going, I can't choose either side. I'm neutral. I'm cool.
Well, it's a world filled with gray, and Magneto is absolutely shades of gray.
Well, yeah, that's why I liked it in, well, we'll pick this up next week, because I'm starting to feel tired. I know exactly where we're going to pick up, talking about how...
Well, next episode will be right after the 8th episode plays.
So after you read 2 chapters, we're going to have a busy goddamn night talking about the 2 chapters, because I haven't watched this week's Wanda Vision.
Mm-hmm.
I got to remember to watch it before I come over.
Revisit the topic again.
Friday. Or we'll watch it Friday before we play games.
Dude, we jerked off the dick of WandaVision. We were just like...
You with your pervertedness.
What could be like vagina, like... Just jerking the clit a little bit.
Come here, sweetheart. I can't feel it. How about now?
Fist. Like Thanos.
Grab the G spot and snap.
And it's like, are you fisting or you fisted it? I'm snapping it.
You're horrible. Which also makes me know you're starting to get tired too, because you're just getting worse.
Or is it gloriously delicious?
You're horrible.
Would dost like to live?
Okay, but I'm gonna cut it now, guys, because I'm starting to get tired.
All right, so next week we will discuss more Wanda Vision, because of course we will. The next few episodes will probably be nothing but like us just about
Going over
WandaVision.
WandaVision.
And then I'm reading out chapters 8, and then
No, 10 and 11 is next week, because you said you really wanted to read 11.
I can read chapters 10 and 11. Then I can circle back around and read 8. And then after that, because on the next few episodes will be me reading different chapters, like, you know, we've been doing. Just not this episode, because we just carried on forever. And then after that, we discuss WandaVision. We're probably going to discuss a little bit of Mandalorian, and then
I think
maybe
we'll
go
go
into some
into
other stuff.
X-Men, them going with the original 3 films, and then backtracking to old X-Men with how Magneto just needed to learn how to use his power, and it wasn't all just anger.
Yeah, and depending on how this next week goes, I may read you guys out something brand new that I may have written.
Nice.
So, may give you guys a peek as to some new material that isn't already published.
The next 2-3 weeks.
Yep, so it would be exclusively, you know, special, because it'd be CrazyP's a peek into my new materials type stuff that isn't published. But that's only if things go well and if I feel like it. So, but this has been CrazyP's. I'm Thomas Paxton.
I'm Tim Potter.
aka TPA Wolfric. And that's been CrazyP's. Have a week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Yeah, you say
CrazyP's.net.
your thing.